And as a result, we've got some big matches on this show. I think tonight's the night we get Shaq, isn't it? I think tonight is Shaq. Anyone else feel like that should really be at Revolution? Like, I don't quite understand why it's tonight and why it isn't on Sunday at Revolution. But no, I'm just looking at our little preview that we've got of the show tonight. And it looks like we do have Shaq in action tonight. That big match, that big tag match that things have been building towards. It looks like that is going down tonight. Jason Peace, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone that's joining us. Apologies for the slight delay. I did say in the chat, and I did mean it as well, that I did literally wake up around about 17 minutes ago now. That's when I successfully opened my eyes. So, yeah, proper slept through my alarm. And that's why there was a slight delay. But thankfully, the stream was already set up. So it was just a case of doing a few little things. But yeah, it does mean there's a few more things that need to be done. Like the countdown clock I need to fix. I could do with putting something on Twitter just to let people know that we're here. And also, I don't know the NXT matches for tonight, but we can easily find that out. So whilst I'm just fixing the clock, let me go through what we've got on AEW. So over on AEW, we have got FTR versus Jurassic Express, which should be a really great match. Obviously, there's been a bit of back and forth between those teams. We've had good old-fashioned kidnapping and things along those lines. But, yeah, it's going to build towards FTR versus Jurassic Express tonight. We got Sting and Darby Allin going to be appearing live, as they do every single week. We've got Shaq and Jade Cargill taking on Cody and Red Velvet. Obviously, that was going to be Cody and Brandy Rhodes. And then, life got in the way. And as a result of that, it is Cody and Red Velvet instead. I do think that is a shame. I'm not like the biggest Brandy Rhodes fan. I'd say that was an understatement. But I don't hate her. But I do think she gets involved a little bit too much. But I must admit, on this one occasion, because of how this match had been built, I do think it is a shame that she isn't involved in this. But totally understandable. Totally understandable. As they said, life gets in the way. But yeah, this I think I'm right in saying this would have been the first time we would have seen Brandy and Cody teaming together. To my knowledge, I mean, we've watched AEW every week. I've never seen Dark, so I can't comment about Dark. But I can't recall ever seeing Cody and Brandy teaming together tonight. Would have been the first time in my knowledge, my limited knowledge of AEW. 'Cause, as I say, I only tend to watch Dynamite. But either way, that is going to be unmissable. I'm sure we can all agree. That is going to be unmissable. We don't know what Shaq's going to be like. We don't know what Jade Cargill's going to be like. So definitely want to see that. We're going to hear from Paul White. So the Big Show is going to be on the show. But obviously they can't call him Big Show because WWE own that name. So it's we'll hear from Paul White for the first time tonight. We've also got Dark Orders 10 taking on Max Caster. We've got Chris Jericho and MJF taking on, taking on a press conference. That's what they're taking on, the Revolution press conference. So we're going to hear about them. They're facing the Young Bucks at Revolution. So I expect the Young Bucks to be involved in that segment. We got Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn taking on Hangman Page and John Silver. That should actually be a really fun match. We're obviously building towards Matt Hardy and Hangman Page. So I don't mind this match. I actually think Hangman and John Silver as a tag team could be awesome. So I'm quite up for that match. And we've got Pac and Fenix, who are also going to be in tag team action. So what I do appreciate about AEW is the fact that they give you such a big breakdown of what you're going to get on the show. We just don't get that kind of a breakdown for really any other show, apart from like a pay-per-view. But every single week they put out this graphic that's got about 8 things on that you can look forward to. I suppose in many ways it's sort of the 8 segments of each week. So yeah, it's cool. I really do appreciate knowing what we're going to be seeing. Days, how are you tonight? I'm good, thank you, Edward. Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little bit rushed, should we put it that way? Just because I am... Do you know, I've literally just written the words. I'm trying to write this down because someone might ask me what's happening on AEW later, and I want to be able to tell them. And I'm just writing this down, and I wrote down the words Paul Brown, and I have no idea why I've written that down. His name is Paul White. It's not even spelt like the colour, but for some reason my brain just went, his real name is Paul Brown. It's like, no, it's not. It's Paul White. Why have you done that? So I'm having to now cross out the words Paul Brown. I'm sure you can make your own jokes up about that, but yeah, his name is definitely Paul White. Yeah, so I'm good. Just a little bit rushed. NXT has tweeted. Brilliant. Thank you. I will have a look at that in a second, and we'll go through what NXT has got for us. I know one of the things that it's got for us, of course, is going to be that women's tag title match. That was revealed last week and reminded on Raw that it's going to be Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So I know that we've got that tonight. I'm sure that we're going to get some more of like the Adam Cole and Disputed Era story as well. I think there's going to be some good stuff on both shows tonight. I would imagine that the attention is going to be with AEW. The reason why I say that is because this is the go-home show for Revolution, and there's a lot of excitement because obviously AEW pay-per-views don't come around all that often, so this is a big deal. And I have to say as well that I thought Revolution last year was one of the best wrestling shows of the year. I really, really enjoyed Revolution last year. I think we gave it a really high score. It had that Hangman Omega versus Young Bucks match, which I regarded as match of the year. I was a massive fan of that show. So hopefully this can get to that level. Days, it's on because the All-Stars match, that's why Shaq is on tonight. They've had to move it for that. Oh, right. Is the All-Stars match this weekend, is it? That's a shame. Do you know what? I mean, like, the All-Stars match would be something I would have been interested in streaming, to be honest. I'm kind of looking at those out-of-wrestling opportunities, just because on a lot of weekends, there's, like, not really anything wrestling on a Sunday. And I'm not trying to absolutely ram my week and fill every single day. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I do feel that Sunday is kind of like, do you know what I mean? People are off work. They're looking for things to do. Kind of feels like Sunday is a day in particular where we should be doing something. So normally you get pay-per-view on Sunday when there is a pay-per-view. And obviously there is this weekend. But we've done Super Bowl. And that was good. Really enjoyed doing the Super Bowl watch along, and I totally would have been down for an NBA All-Star game, but unfortunately this weekend we've got UFC 259, which is huge, so big that I think tomorrow is the press conference, and we're doing the press conference. We're actually going to do the live stream for a press conference. That's how big it is. We have only ever done that once before, and that was for a couple of months ago when Conor fought Dustin Poirier, and we're going to do it tomorrow. So press conference, all the champs are there. It should be quite interesting to see what people have got to say. So 3 championship matches this Saturday, UFC 259, one of the biggest UFC shows ever. ever. I don't think it'll break the record, which is Conor and Khabib, but I do think it should get past the 1 million mark, which is quite significant. So, yeah, absolutely huge for UFC. So we got that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, AEW Revolution. So, as I said, bit of a shame, because I definitely could have been doing that NBA game, but hey-ho, doesn't matter. Not this time, always next time. Let's jump over to NXT, and we'll see what NXT have got in store for us, because I've done the preview of AEW, and we can have a look for NXT, if I can just find where they are. Here it is, WWE NXT. Boom. Who do you think Goldberg will face at WrestleMania? That's a really good question, because I do think he's still got a few matches left, was the rumor. So there was a rumor at the start of the year that Goldberg still had a few matches left on his contract. And so as a result, when he faced Drew, I wasn't that down on it. I know a lot of people were, but I wasn't that down on it, 'cause I really did feel that Drew was someone that had the size, had been invested in a lot, and was someone that Vince was going to continue to keep as champion for a while. Now, granted, that actually didn't work out all that long, but I was confident that Goldberg wouldn't be the one to beat him. And I will admit, I felt the same way when he faced The Fiend, and obviously that went wrong. But I still felt that Drew would win. So a lot of people seem to get upset at the match. I can understand people saying, what has he done to earn a title opportunity? Blah, 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 blah. Totally understood all of that. But knowing that he's got a few matches left on his contract, it made sense. I could understand it. So, yeah, I very much was okay with that match. I actually thought the match itself was very good. And I could understand why they booked it, because apparently he's got a few matches left. And that means that he will likely be at WrestleMania. So I don't know who the opponent's going to be. I really can't call it. Could be anyone. I hope it's Riddle, because Riddle really wants to get his hands on Goldberg. But I doubt it'll be that, because I don't think Goldberg wants anything to do with Riddle. There's been a lot said that's been really said, and they really don't like each other. So I don't think it'll be Riddle. But yeah, I would love for it to be a match that mattered, and for it to be a match that isn't anywhere near a title. And honestly, it looks like it's not going to be, unless he's going to insert himself in Drew versus Lashley, and that'd be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, you have to let me know who you would like it to be. Firefly Revolution, was it? Shout out to you. I saw just became a sponsor. Not Friedman.
Not Friedman is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Do you think Brock will be at WrestleMania or jump ship to AEW?
Do you think Brock? No, Brock won't go to AEW. Brock will go where the money is. Brock doesn't have this mad loyalty to WWE, and I appreciate in the 90s, if anyone said, would Hogan go to WCW, you'd say no. So I appreciate there is a chance, let's put it this way, right? There has to be a chance, because it's not something that's physically impossible. But I think WWE are fully aware of how significant that would be. That would be something that would move the dial for AEW. There's not many things that will move that dial. Brock going to AEW would move that dial. And if he did, Tony Khan would be wise to book Brock as a heel and book Brock as someone that you're still not sure as to whether he's an AEW superstar or not. Like, they would have to book it like the Outsiders. You know, Nash and Hall, how they were just turning up. And people weren't sure if they were still part of the WWE or what was going on. Like, booking Brock that way would make a lot of sense, because It makes sense that Brock will be watching AEW and just absolutely hate it. A lot of people were doing a lot of flips, like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. I mean, that is the exact polar opposite of Brock. Brock is strength, size, power. He's not all he tried an aerial move. It didn't go well. WrestleMania 19. And as a result, you just don't tend to see Brock try and shoot in star presses anymore. So this is the complete opposite of Brock. So if they did get him, I would heavily tease he was still connected to WWE. I know it's a storyline that's been done, but it's a storyline that will always work. And I would have him come in and just destroy everyone. I'd have him just destroying everyone. I don't care who it is. I'd have him wrecking the place, literally losing his mind. You could have him just come out and just destroy the whole place. Just you could have the locker room finally comes down. Eventually numbers kind of drive him away. And then next week you've got stepped up security and there's no sign of him next week. But what you've got then is this constant, is Brock back? Is Brock going to be around? What's happening with people wanting, you've got intrigue. You've got a really cool ending to a Dynamite, maybe the best ending ever, with Brock just losing his mind, just throwing everyone around, just wrecking things, wrecking the set. I mean, imagine an unhinged Brock Lesnar. I mean, I would want that. I'd have Lance Archer coming out and he'd just get wrecked. And just one-on-one, I mean, Brock is so big, so powerful. You could do it whereby, I'm trying to think, who is the biggest person that they've got that might be able to just stand up? I would want, I understand people would be saying, why would you want to bury your whole roster? Totally get that. But you've got to remember, Brock is your roster now. If they sign Brock, you've got Brock. Okay? So you're not burying your whole roster because you've got Brock. Brock is on your roster. Brock is money, man. Brock is your main event star for the next 5 years if he's sticking around. So you could do something like he's destroying everyone, but he slows down and just thinks when he sees someone like Will Hobbs. I like that. Because I like the fact he's got no respect for anyone. He doesn't respect Jurassic Express. He doesn't respect FTR because they jump ship. He doesn't respect Lance Archer. Doesn't see him as being on his level. Doesn't respect all these different people. Some people can give him, a tough time, like Lance Archer should. But I'm just saying, ultimately, Lance Archer's not going to succeed against Brock Lesnar. But maybe a Will Hobbs comes out and maybe there's a really good moment where they're face to face and Brock's trying to figure out how he's already wrecked a lot of things. And now he's got Will Hobbs in front of him. And maybe that'll be what makes him back away. And then after that, everyone else comes out and, the place is secure. But for that brief moment, it was Will Hobbs that managed to stop the carnage when no one else could. I mean, that alone would be enough to get Will Hobbs to another level. Do you know what I mean? Just getting that respect from Brock. Sort of like when Keith Lee came down in the Rumble. Do you remember Brock was destroying everyone in the Rumble and then Keith Lee came down? And you could see Brock was like, who's this guy? He was like, big boy. There's a big boy on the way right now. So that was good. I really enjoyed that moment. I thought that was great for Keith Lee. So I would do something similar, but with Will Hobbs. And then, as I said, that's how it ends. Really make out how, even have Tony Khan on Twitter be like, I want to stress that Brock Lesnar is not under an active AEW contract. And I also want to stress that security will be stepped up for next week. This is completely unacceptable and is not part of the AEW programming. I mean, the buzz that would generate, would be absolutely insane. And certainly if Meltzer or no one else could get the truth, if they could keep whatever arrangement they had under wraps to the point where Meltzer can't report if it's true or not, and everyone's looking for answers. That would be one of the biggest storylines. It'd be huge. So that's why I don't think he's going to go, because you could do things on that level that would be a big shift in the wrestling business. And Vince knows it. Vince saw what Hogan brought to WCW, and I think Brock might bring something similar. Maybe not as big, because obviously the wrestling industry's in not the same place it was in the mid-90s. And maybe Brock's not in the same place as Hogan was in the mid-90s. But I think it would not be the worst comparison. So, it would be absolutely huge. Right, I found the preview for tonight for NXT. And let's go through. So, Nia Jax and Shayna taking on Raquel and Dakota versus Raquel. I'm going to write these down as I'm saying them, rather than read them all out and then try and go back and write them down. We've also got Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. They are taking on Ciampa and Thatcher in a non-title match. Why are we doing this? I've got no idea why that. Two of the hardest hitting teams are set to collide. NXT Tag Team Champions Lorcan and Burch will face Ciampa and Thatcher in a non-title match on NXT. Lorcan and Burch, Lorcan and Burch were originally meant to defend their titles against MSK. The grizzled young veterans basically took them out, and as a result, MSK are out injured at the moment, aren't they? So, right, that makes more sense. So this is meant to be the title match, Burch and Lorcan versus MSK. They're meant to be getting their title opportunity, but is it Wes Lee that has busted his hand? And so, as a result, we've got Ciampa and Thatcher instead. But non-title, unfortunately. Right, we've also got The Way heading to therapy, which could be a lot of fun. So we've got that as well. LA Knight is going to appear live on the show. Obviously, Eli Drake. LA Knight heading to NXT. And that's it. So we've got 8 things for AEW and 4 things for NXT. Tully Blanchard is in action tonight with FTR. It is a 6-man tag match. Shout out to you, Lauren. You are correct. Yes, they were previewing that last week. The fact that he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He hasn't competed in, I couldn't even tell you how long. FTR really putting over the fact that even though he's not competed for so long, he's still going to be one of the best mat wrestlers, one of the best actual wrestlers. When he locks up with someone, he's still going to be one of the absolute best on the roster. I'm looking forward to seeing him go tonight. Days, I tweeted you the new Austin signature belts. Okie dokie. What I'm going to say is apologies. I have not seen anything today. I went to bed. What time did I go to bed? I went to bed at about 2:30 in the afternoon. So just after lunchtime here in the UK. So that would be, you take 5 hours off. So that would be 9:30 in the morning, Eastern time, America. Like, my body clock is a mess. So, I went to bed at 2:30 and I set my alarm to wake me up at 9 because I was going to have something to eat, catch up on the news, make notes, all that kind of stuff. I literally woke 10 minutes before the stream was meant to start. So, I don't even know how many hours that means I had sleep-wise, but it's like 9 or something. It's quite, a decent amount of sleep. So I must have just needed it. I don't know. So, I've not seen any news today, unfortunately. So, feel free to make me aware of anything. Right. Let's see if I can find this new Stone Cold signature title. They've got the older one, but I don't know about the newer one. In fact, there's some really cool stuff coming back now that I've typed that in. I don't have Twitter set up on my laptop. I don't know about you, but I always go into Twitter on my phone. I always use the app on my phone. So if I can find it, I will show you the picture of it. Right. Let's have a look and see. Beautiful Flair Savage t-shirt that someone sent me a picture of. Dakota Kai. Wow, that is nice. On the bump. Oh, wow, that is not going to be cheap. It's £900. Wow. That is something special, man. Right, there's going to be people that won't have seen this. So, give me one moment to send it over to my computer. And then I will show you the picture on screen. Because I could just show you off the phone. But it's not going to be the same. This was shown on the bump. And it's a commemorative title. They've started to do these kind of commemorative belts. I mean, they are incredible, these commemorative belts. They look absolutely stunning. And they must be working from, like, a financial point of view because they keep making them. But this is something special. This is the exact picture that Miss Clown 1 sent. I can see that other people were very kind to send through images as well. So I do want to say a thank you to everyone that sent stuff. I will catch up on the tweets after. So whatever you sent was not in vain. I will look at it all. Look at this. This is the image I was sent from. Let me just get it zoomed up a little bit. Expected in stock March 24th. So not available for another 20 days. But look at that. What's the shape of the? I don't know what the shape of the box is. Don't know what the box is in the shape of. But it comes in this box. And it must be in a skull. I'm getting a skull vibe. Is that the shape of a skull? It definitely is. So it must be the shape of a skull, the box. And there, look, is the belt. Feels very metal, very industrial. Feels, I don't know, man, attitude. Definitely getting attitude from it. Getting, there's so much to talk about there. Like, so if you look at the strap where it says Austin on the strap just to the left, is that like is the metal, is it literally like two strips above and below, and then is it like an extra piece of belt in the middle that where it says Austin? Because it looks like it's just belt, doesn't it? It looks like it's just belt, but it's got obviously the metal top and bottom, and I've never seen that before. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a belt where it's got like metal at the top, metal at the bottom, but then it's nothing in the middle. I can't remember ever seeing a belt like that, but it works. That works. That looks really cool. With metal at the top, metal at the bottom, and then something like printed onto the belt. That looks brilliant, man. I love that side piece. There's a little logo on the right-hand side as well. Love the skull in the middle. 316. I mean, that is attitude, isn't it? Stone cold. That is to be honest, a belt we've never seen before. So this isn't a belt that's ever existed. Obviously, Stone Cold did have his own championship. It was the Smoking Skull Championship, and that was cool. But this is cool as well. It's got 25 at the bottom. So, I don't know what that is in significance. Is it 25 years of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Is that when he first arrived? Would it 25 years ago would be what? 96? So that would make sense. I can't remember when he turned his back on the ringmaster gimmick, but that would probably make sense. This probably is 25 years of Stone Cold. So maybe that's what it is. Does it say actually why we've got this belt? Let's have a look. have a look. Legacy Championship, £900. Pre-order. No, it doesn't say. But my guess is, because of that little 25 at the bottom, it's 25 years of Stone Cold. And don't know what the little skull is. Don't know if it's just a little, like, desktop ornament. I'm guessing just a cool little item to have. But that looks really cool. That looks really cool. 25 years of Stone Cold. Awesome. Do you know what? That's actually something I've never gone back to look at is Stone Cold, how Stone Cold came about. Because I never saw it at the time because I didn't have Sky when I was a kid. So I wasn't watching Raw. But I was watching the pay-per-views. But that is a Raw that I would love to go back to, or a show that I would love to go back to. The moment that he kind of turns his back on the $1 Million Man and stops being the ringmaster and starts becoming himself. Like, I don't know. If someone was to say, like, when he leaves the $1 Million Man and stops being the ringmaster, did he instantly become Stone Cold? Off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to answer that, you know, because that is a little grey area for me. I'd have to go back and look at that. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Austin's belt is £900. Flair is used to bragging about his belt being £20. I think, yeah, I think slightly different, but good point all the same. Goldberg versus John Cena for WrestleMania. It's good to know there'll be time for a bathroom break. Is that the rumor? I heard Goldberg, John Cena is locked for Mania. Really? I haven't seen that. I heard that Goldberg and John Cena was locked for Mania, but meaning that they would both be there. Not that not that they would be facing each other. So, are you talking about the WrestleVotes tweet? Because WrestleVotes did say that Goldberg and John Cena is locked for Mania. But I don't think they're meaning against each other. I think they were just meaning that both were going to be at Mania. And then John Cena came out and said he can't be at Mania because of filming problems. Like a schedule conflict. So I don't even think John Cena's going to be there. So I don't know. I don't think that's the plan, to be honest. I don't think that's the plan. I could see why someone would think that was the plan, because if it is from the tweet said that Goldberg and John Cena are both locked for WrestleMania, and that might imply that they're having a match with each other, but I never read it that way. I never took it that way. Days, could you see Braun Goldberg similar to the AJ thing with Shane, frustrated at not having a match, and Shane says, "I won't face you," and brings back Goldberg? Don't know. It doesn't excite me. Braun Goldberg doesn't really do anything for me. I suppose I could get into it if the build was red hot, but Braun having an issue with Shane and Shane saying no, here's Goldberg doesn't do it for me. Because there's not enough heat there. I mean, I suppose you could build that heat, but yeah, that feels cold. Feels very cold. So they'd have to do a good job of building that up to kind of get me on board. Days, who do you think Triple H will face at Mania? I think he faces AJ Styles. I think he faces no one. I don't think is there. I've got no idea where this AJ Styles thing has come from. I don't know if there's another channel out there that's predicted it and said that they have heard something, or I genuinely have got no idea why everyone is talking about Triple H AJ Styles. I've got no idea. But I'm seeing it's getting mentioned quite a bit. And I'm seeing people making like dream cards on Twitter, and they're including Triple H and AJ Styles. So there's a buzz around this like dream match, if you will. And I've no idea where it's come from. I've seen no reports on this match happening. I've seen no rumors that this match is happening. I've no idea where this has come from, but it is getting mentioned quite a bit. So, but to my knowledge, it's not happening. I've seen nothing to suggest that it's happening. There was even a little article yesterday that said that it had 7 matches that were locked in for WrestleMania. Most of them are ones that we already know. There was one match that they reported. I think this is Wrestle Inc. There was one match they reported that I had never heard was happening, and that was Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. They seem to be suggesting that triple threat is going to be happening at WrestleMania. Seth versus Daniel versus Cesaro. All the others were like Lashley versus Drew, Bianca versus Sasha, Asuka versus Charlotte. All the other matches are ones that we sort of know. But the one that stood out was Seth versus Daniel versus Cesaro. Right, so they reported that. And a few other like matches that we know. But they didn't report Triple H AJ. They didn't say that that was a match that was locked. And they didn't report Goldberg versus Cena either. So, but there was about 7 matches that they mentioned. And as I said, most of them are ones that you can work out. But yeah, that Daniel Bryan one was one that stood out to me. I think at Mania, there should be a ladder match for the United States title with AJ, Riddle, Keith Lee, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and John Morrison. That would be good. I do think that one of the mid-card titles should have a match like that. You could do it with the IC as well. I understand it would be different people, but I think both mid-card championships have got kind of a lot going for them. I think another match that Wrestle Inc. reported was Big E versus Apollo for the IC championship. Again, don't know if that is the plan, but I'm pretty sure they reported we were going that way. And in fairness, I mean, Apollo with this new kind of Nigerian heritage, putting on that scarf, got the new attire, looks really cool. Like, I'm totally on board. I really love what they're doing with Apollo at the moment. So if that is the match, I've got no issue with it. I'm down for it. Days interviews. In interviews, AJ and Triple H have both said they would be interested in facing each other at WrestleMania, says Drift Lewis. Oh, is that where it's come from? Right. Days, just imagine if Dakota and the other one is about to win the titles. Gonzalez then attacks Dakota and turns on her. Bad things happen when Shayna is around Dakota. I don't know why she would do that, to be perfectly honest, because this is an opportunity to win a major title. So why would you turn on someone when they're about to win? So I don't know. I would need that to be explained as to why Raquel Gonzalez had just thrown away the opportunity to become a tag team champion. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So I wouldn't book that. But I mean, she can turn on her, but I mean, normally you would do that out of frustration at the end of a title run, not like as you're literally about to win a title. So I don't know. I'd struggle with that. Did you see NXT move into Tuesdays? I've seen the rumors. I've not seen it confirmed, but apparently it's to do with the fact that there's all this disruption with the sports. So you know how one of the sports channels is closing down. That means that a lot of sport is now going to the USA Network, and apparently the Wednesday night slot that NXT has is going to go over to sport. So as a result, they need to move, and it looks like they're moving to Tuesday. So there's going to be a lot of people saying that means AEW won the war, right? And it's not true. I mean, it's not wrong either, because they have comfortably beaten NXT week after week after week. I mean, you can kind of count on one hand the amount of times that NXT got better ratings. So it's not true, but it's not false. The war would continue, but it's just the fact that NXT has got to move. I don't think that Triple H is scared and running off or anything like this. I don't think WWE are shaking in their boots at the fact that they haven't beaten AEW. Because it feels like there's a lot more that NXT could be doing. They could absolutely flood NXT with superstars. They could, if they wanted, put Roman Reigns on a Wednesday, move Roman Reigns to NXT, make NXT a third brand, proper third brand, make the NXT title the NXT World Championship, so that it counts towards World Championships. Move Roman over, move a few other stars, take a couple from SmackDown, couple from Raw, make it a World Championship, make it a proper third brand, include them in the pay-per-view. Like, they could do that easily. And then all of a sudden the Wednesday Night War heats up, doesn't it? But they're not interested in doing that for whatever reason. They're going about their own business, doing their own thing. So I don't think that they're running scared out of ideas, don't know what to do. As I've seen a lot of AEW fans kind of teasing and reporting. I don't subscribe to that. I think it is more to do with the fact that USA Network has got some sport that they want to bring onto the channel, and so NXT has got to move. Kai, shout out to you, says, Days, do you think the surprise tag team in the Battle Royal at Revolution will be the Motor City Machine Guns? And imagine if it was Gorillas of Destiny. Well, I think Motor City Machine Guns probably a better option. Well, not a better option, but more likely. Gorillas of Destiny would be awesome. But I don't know where we are with, like, that relationship. Like, there is clearly a relationship there, but we've only had Kenta coming over at the moment in regards to New Japan. So, I mean, it probably is time to take another step. And if it was Gorillas of Destiny, that would be huge. But I don't know. I'd expect it to be Motor City Machine Guns more so. But yeah, that good shout. That would be awesome. Dazzle by Nature.
Dazzle by Nature is a legend. They donated €5 via a super chat. Just saying, hey my friend, NXT going to Tuesdays seems good idea to me. It means another night of top wrestling for us fans.
I mean, yeah, it's brilliant for us. It's brilliant for us because that means we do Raw on a Monday, we do NXT on a Tuesday, we do AEW on a Wednesday. I get to catch up on sleep on a Thursday, which clearly I need because I already overslept today. SmackDown on a Friday, UFC on a Saturday, and then, as I said, I have to try and find something for Sunday, because, like, people tend to be off work and are looking for things to do. So normally that would be a pay-per-view. So once in a while, once every month, it'd be a WWE pay-per-view, but I don't know, perhaps Sunday we would look at retro watch-alongs or whatever it might be. So kind of NXT moving is brilliant for us. And yeah, I'm really excited about it, to be honest. Does mean that I'd have to move the Wrestling Escape Pod on a Tuesday, which is no big upheaval, I'm sure. We can find a way of doing it after NXT or something. Or, I don't know, different day. I'd have to have a chat with Tommy. But, yeah, I mean, the winners are the wrestling fans, because that means that we all get to enjoy. I mean, it is so much better to just watch wrestling without having to try and watch two shows. Trying to watch two shows definitely has its disadvantages. It has big disadvantages in the fact that you just can't see everything. There's lots of little botches or lots of little moments that completely pass me by because, like, trying to watch both shows at the same time is very, very difficult. But I think, you know, we do the best we can. But, yeah, if NXT is about to move to a Tuesday, I'm over the moon about it. So, completely agree. There is a rumor that Zelina Vega is going to debut as a manager for Santana and Ortiz. They'd be wise to get her because I think she's very popular, and I think she did a great job as a manager. And I don't think she would cost that much, to be honest. It's not as if, like, I mean, what would be the barriers in signing her? Why would you not sign her? She can go in the ring. She was a good manager. She was a good talker. She definitely brings something to the show. She's not like Brock Lesnar that you've got to refinance things to try and bring in. I don't see the downsides in bringing her in, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd definitely look at bringing in Zelina. Austin, shout out to you, says, Days, would you go back to the old...
Dazzle by nature is a legend. They donated €2 via a super chat. Impact, I think, is on after NXT ended.
Impact, I think, is on after NXT. I don't know, because I don't know what time it's moving to and what's happening, to be honest. So it might be on before Impact. I mean, WWE, I feel like, are being told where they've got to go. So I don't think they've got much say. So it could even be on at the same time. And to be honest, I don't even think they'd care about that. I don't think WWE is going to be worried if it's on at the same time as Impact. Because it's just been on at the same time as AEW. So if it goes on at the same time as Impact, a promotion that's not as popular as AEW, I don't think they would care, to be honest. I don't think they're, trying to find a time slot away from Impact. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. At the moment, it's just reports it's moving to a Tuesday. I've not seen that confirmed, and I certainly haven't seen the time. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Right, let's go. Let me finish what Austin was saying. Austin said, Days, would you go back to the old ways of the escape pod and just do it after SmackDown? I know it won't be live, but that's one way to do it. I do like it live, to be honest. I do like it live. I think the fact... This channel, I've said it so many times, and I'll happily say it till I go blue in the face. This channel would not exist if it wasn't for Tommy and Tommy's toy travels. So Tommy helped inspire the channel and really helped the channel grow. If the channel hadn't have got into toy hunts and all of that kind of stuff, I don't think we would be where we are right now, because that really helped the channel grow, and it's something that's not going away. I am bringing back toy hunts. It's just the shops are closed, and they've been closed more than they've been open in the past 18 months. So, the fact that we're able to once a week sit down with Tommy and that you guys can speak to him live, I think is a big deal. And, kind of moving away from live is something that I wouldn't really want to do now. But... well, I can't really answer it. I don't know until I know more about where NXT's going and what Tommy is able to do. But I think the interaction and the live element has improved the Wrestling Escape Pod, if I'm being honest. So I wouldn't look to go back, but if it has to, then my hands are tied. So do you know what I mean? If we have to, we have to. Simple as that. But I would try to keep it live. Days, I see Ethan Page debuting at Revolution in the ladder match, says James Chadwick. That would be cool. Heather, dang it, I forgot MLW was on again. Yeah, I keep doing that. But in all fairness, I was in such a rush that it just wasn't on my mind. I've already conceded that there won't be a tweet for this stream. So anyone that is not in the habit, anyone that's joined us recently that's not in the habit of joining us, won't get that reminder, but it doesn't matter. We do it every single week, and I think we'll be all right by not doing it this week. So I've also missed MLW, and you know what? It really sucks, and I'm really angry at myself because they are putting out such a good product. They are putting out something that I really want to support. They're doing something that I really believe in. I love the fact the names are on screen. I love the fact there's a countdown clock. or a little timer that shows you how long they've been competing for. I love the fact that the wrestling is hard-hitting. It's legit. They've got great stars. They've got Jacob Fatu. They've got Hammerstone. Is TJP is over there as well, I believe. Davey Boy Smith Jr., the British Bulldog's son. He's over there. Like, MLW. I'm not saying it's perfect, because I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen enough to say everything they're doing is great. But what I've seen, I fully support. I think it's brilliant. So I really should be watching it every week before AEW and NXT, because I really do want to support it, but for whatever reason, it just keeps slipping my mind as well. Jerry Jacks says, will Shaq follow in Rodman's footsteps and take a nap in the corner? I don't know. I think he's been eager to get into the ring for a while. This was teased at WrestleMania, where we were meant to get Shaq and Big Show. And apparently the plan was that they were going to do a match at the next year's WrestleMania. And it all fell through. And for whatever reason, Vince wasn't interested. So, I don't know. I'd imagine Shaq's going to be pretty excited for tonight. This isn't something that, you know, has just been proposed and they've just thrown a bit of money at him. This is something that Shaq has been interested in doing for a while. So I think this is something that Shaq's going to have a bit of fun with. So I'm not a fan, as people know, of celebrities being in a ring. I think that you need to be trained to be a wrestler, just like any other sport. And this is sports entertainment. Even, you know, this is meant to be a more sports-based presentation as well with AEW. So I understand that Shaq is a former sportsman, right? So I understand that, you know, he's in good shape. I understand he's 7 foot tall. I understand he's got things going for him. So there's definitely worse celebrities that it could be. But I'm just not a fan of people that aren't fully trained getting into the ring. I've said it before. It's kind of like a celebrity entering Wimbledon and doing well. Like they just wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? You're going up against the best in the world, and that's meant to be what AEW is. If you ask AEW, have they got the best wrestlers in the world? They're going to tell you yes. So how can a celebrity do well against the best in the world? So I always struggle with celebrity matches. I'm really not a fan of them. But I am intrigued to see Shaq tonight, because the one thing he brings is size. He does bring a big physical presence. Is it realistic that he could grab hold of Cody and ragdoll him? Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know at what point does Cody's wrestling knowledge just get nullified by the sheer size of Shaq. I actually don't know. So I do think of all the celebrities that could get involved, all the musicians and things like that, Shaq is, I don't want to say different, but his size is definitely interesting. Let's put it that way. So I'm interested to see how they present it. I am actually looking forward to that match. Going Ghost, but I still don't think he should be having one. Let's make that clear, yeah? Because people will be like, oh, you were fine when Shaq was in the ring. No. If we go back and we watch the watch-alongs, you'll hear me say that I don't think he should be having a match. And I don't think he should be having a match. The only caveat is that he has got a size that other celebrities don't have. And I'm interested to see how they present that. Going Ghost.
Going Ghost is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. What's up, Days? What show will be better tonight?
I don't know, is the answer. I mean, I'm probably more excited for AEW because of the fact that they've told me more of what I'm going to see. I think we're building towards AEW Revolution. Go-home shows are normally awful, but this one isn't going to be awful because it's actually got some matches that I thought would be at Revolution. So it's kind of cool in a way that this is really interesting. Really interesting. That, as I said, it's kind of like a mini Revolution. And That's really annoying, but at least it does remind me to change it over. Right. AEW about to begin. We've just got a little video package over on NXT. AEW has started with... We're straight in the arena. No video package here. Are we starting with Cody? How about this for an opening match? We are starting with Cody. Wow. Right. Here we go. Straight into the big one for me. Mixed tag match. Cody and Red Velvet versus Shaq and Jade Cargill. Wow. AEW definitely starting with the bigger match. It looks like we should have been starting with Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch against MSK. But obviously that match can't happen because MSK are injured. So NXT are starting with a non-title match. Right, I am so down for this. My full attention, I'm sorry, is with AEW right now. Non-title match versus this Shaq match. And Jade Cargill and the build. And there's Red Velvet. Right, Burch and Lorcan versus Ciampa and Thatcher. There we go. How many Raws till Fastlane? I honestly don't know. I don't know when Fastlane is, to be honest, off the top of my head. I would imagine 2, 3, something like that. 2 or 3. I think there's something like 6 till WrestleMania. So, from Mama's Kitchen. From Mama's Kitchen. What? She is a ball of fire. Cody and Red Velvet. What's this? What's all this about? Right. Here's Jade Cargill. And we've not seen Jade Cargill compete before. She's in gold. She looks great. First taste of Jade Cargill. Shouldn't we be getting our first taste of Red Velvet from Mama's Kitchen? Jade Cargill looks like $1 million, doesn't she? Look at her physique. Great graphics as well. Right, and here comes Shaq. In fairness, he looks the part, doesn't he? Like, he has to duck his head as he came through the tunnel. He has to, like, lower his head a little bit as he came down. He's standing behind Jade Cargill. He's got a black, like, tank top on. He's showing off the guns. He looks to be in good shape. He is one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. Not sure about his ring attire, to be honest. I like the black top, but he's got like baggy. Yeah, not feeling. He's not wearing wrestling boots. He's just wearing basketball shoes. So he's got basketball shoes. He's got like black tracksuit bottoms. He's got a black tank top on. He's got a real. I mean, like, he is really tall. He is towering over Cody. So it looks like we're going to be starting with Cody and Shaq. And he looks very unconcerned. Do you know what? I mean, it is such a size advantage. It is such a significant, like, advantage that Shaq has got. That size. And as a result, he might even be stronger than Cody. Right, these two lock up. Well, it looks like Cody is trying to work the arm. And Shaq just pushes him away. Shows off the guns. Okay. My problem with celebrities being in a match is always the believability. So they always make out that celebrities are as good as the wrestlers. And it's so frustrating. So I definitely don't want Shaq being as good of a wrestler as what Cody is. Shaq is driving Cody back into the corner. Cody steps out the way. Big chop. He's chopping away, and Shaq just grabs Cody, hurls him into the corner. Here we go, look. Big hand comes down. Cody definitely felt that. And a big club across the back, and Cody felt that as well. Shaq with Cody against the ropes. Huge back body drop. And Shaq seems to be enjoying himself. Big smile on the face of Jade Cargill. Another big chop comes in. Big knee to the midsection as well by Shaq. Cody definitely selling right now. Tony says that Shaq might just be too big here. Another big hand coming down. Jade Cargill talking some trash. Oh, Jade Cargill tags herself in. So, Shaq was dominating Cody then, using his size, and it was okay. It was all right. Kick to the midsection. So now we got two female wrestlers. We've not seen much of Jade Cargill. Kick to the midsection. Red Velvet into the corner. Runs against the ropes. Onto the shoulders of Jade Cargill. Back elbow coming by Red Velvet. Against the ropes goes Jade. She holds on to the ropes. That was a good spot. Little kick to the midsection. Yeah, she's doing all right here against Red Velvet. Red Velvet back into the corner. Ducks. Duck again. Swinging underneath. Kick into the legs. That spin kick seemed to be about a mile away from Red Velvet. Forearm strike by Jade. Into the corner goes Red Velvet. Dazzle by Nature. Shout out to you. This is all right, you know. There's nothing here that's that like offensive or anything that's ruining the match for me so far. I would like to see. Nature is a legend. I'd like to see Cody do all right.
€5 via a super chat. You might win again over NXT. This is epic. Who is this? Adam Pearce dude on WWE TV. Glad Shane.
AEW might win over NXT this week. I think it will. Who is this Adam Pearce dude? Adam Pearce is a like indie wrestler in a way. He was competitive in Ring of Honor. He worked in a few different companies, but yeah, he was a former NWA champion as well. So he's competed and been NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the belt that Nick Aldis has got. Adam Pearce has held that title. He's kind of very revered, actually. I've heard over on This Is Wrestling, those guys, they do a great job. They talk a lot about Adam Pearce and when he was champion, and about how it was such a weird time for the NWA. Because it was a bit directionless and wasn't really getting the fanfare that it deserved. Chair shot to the back by Austin Gunn to Shaq. Okay, so they've got Shaq just grabbing hold of people at the ringside area. Referee's having a word.
Dazzle by Nature is a legend. They donated €2 via a super chat. Glad Shane is back.
Red Velvet from the top. Lovely moonsault. Lovely moonsault by Red Velvet. There's a lot of showboating in this match, you know. There's a lot of, like, stopping to celebrate. Red Velvet hits a moonsault and then starts screaming down the camera. We're back into the ring. Arna's come down. Arn's having a word with Cody. Figure 4? Figure 4 by Jade. Didn't expect Jade to be doing a figure 4 leg lock. It's not the hardest move in the world, but I just didn't think that she would be looking for such a move. Reverse, though. Red Velvet reverses it. All right, and she turns it back, so now the pressure's on Red Velvet. So we've got Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. Figure 4 leg lock. NXT has gone to commercial break, but it's still with its tag match. It's been a gripping opening 10 minutes, this, by AEW. More showboating again, look. Straight to the midsection by Red Velvet. JR says, don't count out Red Velvet. Jay Cargill going outside the ring, going underneath the ring. Is this a no DQ? So she's setting up a tape. It doesn't need this. It doesn't. This is where I'm like not struggling, but it's like we don't need this. Shaq getting involved with people outside the ring, we don't need. Tables, we don't need. Like, this is a good enough match. This mixed tag match is good enough whereby we don't need all these extra bits. So, Red Velvet is grabbing another table. What's going on? So another table's getting set up. It doesn't need it. And the pace of the match now is completely gone. So, like, I'm now literally watching a woman set up a table after just watching a woman set up a table. Doesn't need it. Just have a great match. There's so much intrigue in this match. Like, how is Shaq going to perform? QT Marshall has to help Red Velvet because she was taking that long to set that table up. But the intrigue in this match is we've not seen Jade Cargill before. We've not seen Shaq before. We want to know how they're going to compete. We want to know how Cody is going to overcome the size of Shaq. Want to know what Jade Cargill's going to bring. There's so much intrigue to this match. You do not need tables. You don't need them. Shaq steps in and does a quick pose. Puts his hand up. Went for a test of strength, but Shaq pulls away. There's a little smirk on his face. He seems to be playing with Cody right now. So here we go. They're going for it again. Kick to the midsection by Cody. Knee to the midsection by Shaq. Shaq going for a powerbomb. Hits the powerbomb. Shaq powerbombs Cody. Cody with a strike to Shaq, though. Again, a bit too much celebrating. And a slam by Cody on Shaq. Couldn't quite get all of it, but he got something. And kick out by Shaq. Cody straight over. Tags in Red Velvet. That brings in Jade Cargill. So we're back to the women. Chops back and forth. Did Cody just no-sell a big power bomb? He did sort of, yes. Yeah, he did, is the answer. It was a huge Shaq powerbomb and Cody just no-sold. Single leg drop kick by Red Velvet. Jade Cargill, nice spine buster. Good spine buster by Jade Cargill. That was good. That was good. 2. Cody comes in, pulls Jade Cargill off of Red Velvet. Going against the ropes. Crossbody, and it's Shaq that goes through those 2 tables that were set up on the outside. So, crossbody by Cody. Shaq goes through the tables. Ridiculous. All done to get something that can get played on ESPN. Something that'll hopefully be played on Twitter. Something that'll get played on SportsCenter. Red Velvet tried to get the pin on Jade. Jade gets shoulder up. So, not a fan of that spot. I understand it'll be the spot that gets shared. I understand why they've done it. But I just think they didn't add to the match. Took the pace away from the match. So, hopefully we can get that back. Because these two, in the ring right now, these two are actually doing some good stuff. That was a nice close fall that we just saw. Velvet up top. Oh. Face first, plants it down. 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill gets the pin on Red Velvet. It's right that Jade Cargill wins that because she looks like a massive star. She looks like a massive star. In ring-wise, I thought she was very good. Overall, I think that match was fine. Apart from stopping to set up tables. And Shaq is apparently out cold. Anyone going to check on him? No? Anyone? Anyone want to check on him? I mean, the match is over.
Going Ghost is a legend. They donated $10 via a super chat. One of my old jobs, I worked overnight at a truck stop. It was 4 a.m. and Shaq came walking in. He talked to me and coworker for 10 minutes. He was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the way... So, my takeaways from that match are good match. Very little wrestling-wise, I thought was clunky. It's not like everyone's going to be talking about a botch or anything like this. I think they used Shaq well. They didn't have him wrestle too much. It was more about his chops and his power, and there was a lot of pushing, and there was a lot to do with his size. So I thought that was done well. A couple of moments like Cody no-selling that power bomb. You know, I kind of wouldn't have booked it that way personally. But, you know, whatever. They did that big spot, which, you know, they've done it because they want to get the most out of that match. They want that clip played on Twitter. They want that clip to be played on SportsCenter. They want that clip to be shown absolutely everywhere. I can totally understand that. But it came to me to the deficit of the match. So the match was at a nice pace and things were going well. And then I literally had to spend a few moments watching 2 women set tables up. And like the pace of the match fell away. And it didn't benefit the match. It created a spot that might benefit AEW. It created something that they can share and show on social media. But it didn't make the match better. So I wasn't a fan of that. I'm someone that appreciates, like, I actually really liked when Jade and Red Velvet were going at it in the ring. That was maybe my favorite part, like towards the end, when it looked like Jade was going to be pinned for 3 and it looked like Red Velvet was going to get the win. And she just got her shoulder up. Close falls like that. I really like that kind of wrestling. Or I really like how, you know, the match had was going, and that was probably my favorite part of the match. But overall, you know, I got to say that match is probably like a 7 out of 10, something like that. Like, I think it was decent for what it was. 3.5 stars, something like this. So, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I mean, like, there was potential for that to be an absolute car crash. And it wasn't. And there we go. First thing they show you as we come back, replay. There's the second replay of Shaq going through the table. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I wish that toy store you go to was in Michigan. Days Imperium on NXT. Will they recruit Thatcher and Ciampa? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. But I don't know, because I didn't see it. I wasn't watching NXT. I was all over that match, because that is going to be a big talking point. How did Shaq do? What?
Anna Dawes is a legend. They donated £5 via a super chat. Breaking UFC news. Alistair Overeem and Junior Dos Santos have parted ways from UFC.
Really? Wow. Overeem's gone. That's heartbreaking. I mean, it was heartbreaking when he lost. So I suppose where could he go? Wow, that's huge. Don't know who they're facing. Have they said who they're facing? So Tony just went to an ambulance saying that Shaq was inside this ambulance. He opened the doors and Shaq wasn't there. I gotta tell you, this is the side of AEW that I don't like. This is what I don't like about AEW is we didn't need the table spot, and I don't need Tony going to an ambulance trying to find Shaq and all this just silliness. And I didn't even catch who these two are facing. Okay, well, whoever it is, Pac and Fenix versus some peeps. Over on NXT, we got Roderick Strong in the ring. We got Finn Balor. So, Roderick Strong promo with Balor coming down. The reason that your brotherhood fell apart is because of this title. Next week. Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. NXT Championship next week. He said that straight down the camera. As for you, Roddy, you'll never be a leader. You'll always be a follower. Big strike by Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong starting to unload on Balor. So Finn Balor was saying you'll never be a leader until you get a little more greedy. Got a lot of officials that have come down. They're trying to separate these two. That's good. Roddy, man. Roddy looks like he's ready to rumble. Roderick Strong looks like he's ready to go. That Pac and Fenix match has ended. Pac and Fenix victorious. And now we've got Jericho and MJF coming out. So next week, NXT Championship match. Jeremy says, wow, sold the hell out of that. Daniel says, do you think Shaq gets involved with Big Show, or do you think Big Show had anything to do with that segment? I suppose Shaq could come back. I mean, maybe that's what they're foreshadowing. So Shaq was injured. They thought he'd gone into an ambulance. He's not in the ambulance, which means he's still around. So if he is still around and he's not gone off to hospital or whatever, then maybe they are teasing that he is going to get involved with some, and yeah, maybe it is going to be Big Show. Right, we've got The Way at therapy. This Dexter Loomis problem is affecting all of us. Indy Hartwell is drawing something. Austin says nothing bad happened. Dexter needed a friend. Indy says I would warm him up. Dace, maybe Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem could go to Khabib's promotion. That would be fun. I don't know anything about it, if they've left or if they've been cut or what's happened. But that is big news. Johnny's asking why Dexter Loomis isn't in jail. Indy loves Loomis. She does. Yeah, this isn't doing it for me. This segment's all about Johnny, isn't it? Johnny's done all the talking here. Johnny's telling the therapist to get out. AEW reminds me of ECW and WCW. Gargano is crazy. He is crazy. Crazy. Johnny is snapping. Gargano is sexy. Right, half an hour in, so we're a quarter of the way through the shows. Certainly been eventful. So Balor announcing that we're going to have an NXT Championship match next week. Balor versus Adam Cole should be fire. Should be incredible. I think the only downside is I think there's a chance that there could be some interruptions in that match because there's a lot of moving parts. The Gargano therapy thing just it wasn't grabbing me. I don't know why. It was okay. I don't know. It wasn't getting me. Shaq match, as we said, decent. Probably, well, better than I was expecting. And Jade Cargill did better than I was expecting as well. So a lot of positives out of that match. More positives than negatives. So, yeah, that was a good start for AEW. We've got press conference now. Can't hear this dude's microphone. So the question was, what do the AEW tag titles mean to you and Jericho? To you and MJF? And that was to Jericho. JR said media is there for the inner circle. Who is there? Well, apparently Barstool Sports. I feel like I have heard of them, but I've no idea what they do. I don't know if that's a podcast or if it's a website. I don't know. Paul White mentioned, yeah, he is. Well, he is going to be on the show tonight. Finn versus Adam. No one doesn't want to see that anymore. They just faced at Super Tuesday. I think Finn versus Adam Cole's a great match that I don't mind seeing whenever. I think they're going to bring it. Is that Conrad? Conrad! Conrad Thompson! MJF called him turkey tits. They're having a right go at Conrad. Jericho and MJF having a right go at Conrad. I do like Grilling JR. It's good show. Oh, I forgot they attacked Papa Buck. Right, we got Cameron Grimes. Who's he talking to?
Anna Dawes is a legend.
Anna Dawes.
They donated £5 via a super chat. Apparently Dos Santos announced his time was done shortly after his and Overeem's rankings were removed from the site page.
Right. Here's William Regal. Last week you hit a crew member. William Regal says, don't worry about the money. I got kiss my grits money. William Regal's like, I've no idea what that means. So Cameron Grimes is facing Bronson Reed. Everybody has a price. That damn Ted DiBiase. That was good. That was good. That made me laugh. That was good. Cameron Grimes. I like what they're doing with Cameron Grimes. I've got kiss my grits money. I've no idea what that means. Eric Bischoff is asking a question. Oh, hello. Oh, they've changed Jess's attire again. Oh, is she wrestling? Maybe she's not wrestling. I like Jessie. I think she's got a bright future. Right, we got Aaliyah in the ring. Against Ember Moon. Aaliyah versus Ember. Coming down to the ring when Shotzi's tank. So Shotzi and Ember making their way out in the tank. Robert Stone having flashbacks. Shotzi Blackheart. Young Bucks. Oh, yeah, the Young Bucks are out. Okay, so the books are coming out talking about their dad. Shaq has been in WCW, WWE, and AEW. Miss Cam 1, shout out to you. Knob Freeze says, oh no, Robert Stone's longtime enemy, a tank. Right, well, we've got Aaliyah against Ember. Lovely move by Ember there. Flipping over one-handed to escape out of that arm lock. She's just avoided a hip toss. Gets an arm drag. Another arm drag by Ember Moon. Aaliyah going over to the ropes. Jesse and Robert Stone outside the ring. Looking for a bulldog, maybe? She's got her in a headlock. Reversed by Aaliyah. So we've got Jericho and MJF face-to-face with the Young Bucks over on AEW. Nice roll by Aaliyah. Forearm strike by Aaliyah. I've got Ember Moon, says Sunny Wolf. AEW has been good for once, says James Chadwick. Aaliyah is losing this for sure. The only question is, will it be a squash or not? Well, right now, Ember is allowing Aaliyah to hit her. She goes to hit her, and she gets slammed down. So Ember in control against Aaliyah. Days, what about Miro? Can't believe some people thought he was going to have it better in AEW. Well, I think that's because it was hard to see him have it worse. If you think about how they were using Miro, Rusev in WWE, I mean, Rusev Day got over, but WWE weren't doing a great deal to support it. Kind of feels like they could have done a lot more with Rusev Day. So it kind of felt like there was a glass ceiling. It kind of felt like there was something he just couldn't break through. And you'd have to think that AEW would use him better, but not yet. Still time. That's all I'll say. Still time. We spoke last week about maybe AEW are waiting to pull the trigger. Perhaps they are going to unleash the killer, but they just didn't want to do it straight away. Aaliyah on the outside, thrown into the ring. This match is a little clunky. Big brawl on AEW. We've got the Young Bucks and we've got Jericho and MJF going at it. Got a lot of referees trying to separate the action. Big boot there by Aaliyah. Ember Moon slumps down. 1, 2. Aaliyah trying to get the pin. We got a table being set up. We got the Good Brothers coming out. Knee to the back. So Aaliyah in control. Over on AEW, looks like we got the Good Brothers working with the Young Bucks. Ember as a heel would be my pick in the Hurt Business if they had to add a female, says Leon. AEW are jealous that WWE is better than them, says Kyle. Table spot. We have got a table spot. 2 table spots. Ortiz, I think it was Santana and Ortiz were both on tables. The Young Bucks both go through tables. 1, 2, kick out by Aaliyah. Ember climbing up. Aaliyah pops up. Tries to strike at the legs of Ember. We just got a little video package for Omega and Moxley. Obviously, that's our big main event this Sunday at Revolution. The exploding barbed wire death match.
Matthew Lopez.
Jesse
is
getting
legend.
involved.
They donated $2 via a super chat. Days, did you hear NXT may be moving to Tuesday?
Yes, we briefly spoke about it earlier, Matthew. The Eclipse to Aaliyah. And that should be it for Ember. And it is. Ember gets the win. Barbed wire around the ring will cut you mercilessly. So they're showing some exploding barbed wire matches from over in Japan. So Shotzi getting involved at the end of that match, taking out Robert Stone. It's just so much interference, isn't there? Just interference everywhere. They're showing the ring being constructed for this exploding barbed wire death match. Only the Japanese would come up with that, says the list of Jericho. Hello, we're backstage with, is that Mackenzie? Found Thatcher and Ciampa. His past with Imperium is just that. It's the past. Getting ready for their big opportunity. And there is Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. We've got FTR and Tully making their way down to the ring. So looks like we are building towards a couple of big matches right now. So FTR and Tully versus the Jurassic Express. My hole. It is the My Hole woman. So Dakota and Raquel versus Shayna and My Hole. Dakota and Raquel have got to win. Well, if they do, does that mean then that we get Dakota and Raquel taking on Naomi and Lana? Like, how does that work? 'Cause we know Naomi and Lana are next in line. So how does that work? I don't know. Days, guess the wrestler of the emoji. Is it Rikishi? Come here for Dais's reaction to a retro title, and he completely didn't see it. I did see it. I couldn't tell you which title it was. I saw he did have one around his waist, Tully, but I didn't see what it was, to be perfectly honest. But it's cool. Were they all wearing the retro belts? I'm guessing, is it the old Jim Crockett title? Well, I really want to see it now. Masvidal is on AEW tonight. Hawani just posted pictures of him in a pink robe next to Moxley. What? Masvidal? Why would Masvidal be on AEW? Both shows are at commercial break, by the way. Dakota and Raquel should win. And the women's tag titles should stay in NXT because of how good their women's division is. Well, I think it's right that it moves around because you've got like the Riot Squad that deserve opportunities at the titles. You've got like Sexy Muscle Friends that deserve opportunities as well. There's a few women's tag teams out there. So I think it's fine that it bounces around. I kind of like that. I kind of wish more belts did that. I wish there was one world champion that did that for the men and the women. Just went to all the different brands. It's kind of like the territory days, but only rather than different territories, you've got different WWE brands I kind of really like that. Right, Jurassic Express making their way out. So here is Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus. Tully Blanchard. So I'm still not going to see that belt. But Tully Blanchard. JR says, I don't think any of us thought we would see Tully back in the ring competing. So looks like we're going to start with Tully as well. So we're starting with Tully and Marko Stunt. Big strikes, knees as well in the corner by Tully. Quickly tags in Dax. So we're underway with this six-person tag. NXT has just got a little video package for Toni Storm and Io Shirai. It's cool seeing Tully fight. It is cool seeing Tully fight. It is cool. So we've got Dax in there with Jungle Boy right now. Big chops in the corner. Nice uppercut. So we're just seeing Toni Storm attacking Io as we're building towards this match between these two. I'm not sure when it's... Is it next week? Next week. Next week will be my toughest challenge. But at the end of the match, you will hear... What? We'll hear what? That she's still champ, I'm guessing. So, wow, next week. So that means that we've got Finn Balor versus Adam Cole and Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. So next week is absolutely huge. We've got the two big championships being defended next week on NXT. It's like a mini takeover. Mini takeover next Wednesday. Right, we've got Dakota Kai making her way out. So, Jungle Boy coming into the ring. He gets walloped with a shoe. Oh, Jungle Boy kicks out. Dazzle by Nature, shout out to you. Edward Brown, absolutely. Shout out to you, Edward Brown. Thank you for reminding me. I did say I would do it if you reminded me. So shout out to you, Edward Brown. I hope you've had a good day. Dazzle by Nature as well.
Dazzle by Nature is a legend. They donated €5 via a super chat. If Nia Jax and Ember Moon did a rem, will it be called My Hole Off the Moon? See what I did there, lol.
If Nia Jax and Ember Moon did a REM song, would it be called My Hole of the Moon? I do see what you've done there. And I can confirm that would be the name of their song, yes. Baszler making her way out. Jungle Boy thrown hard into the railings. So, yeah, we've got a lot of activity on the outside of the ring. Jungle Boy scooped up, slammed down. And there's Nia Jax. Two belts on the line next week on NXT. It's a big week next week. Big week next week. We're around about 10 minutes away from the halftime scores. I think there's been some good stuff tonight. There's some signs in the crowd that say my hole. There's my hole signs. This is why This is why I miss a crowd, because you know that they would be chanting that at Nia, and it would be a bigger thing, and we wouldn't let her forget it. And even all these weeks later, there's my whole signs. Right, so women's tag team championships being defended on NXT right now. It is great seeing those main roster belts, those championships that have been at pay-per-views. It is great seeing them on NXT. I do love the fact these belts are defended on all the brands. So here we go. Shayna and Nia. Big match situation. Some big championships on the line. FTR in control against Jurassic Express over on AEW. Here we go, though. Dakota, Shayna. Quick tag, and Nia comes in. Nia stepping in. Closing off the ring. She's got Dakota. Kind of trapped in the wrong part of town nice and early. So Dakota Kai backing over into the corner. Gets thrown across the ring by Nia. Big splash into Dakota. And dragging Dakota over. And she's in completely the wrong part of the ring. She's in there now with Shayna. Quite the history between these two. Into the corner goes Dakota. Shayna charges over. Boop. Gives her a little bot, and that just annoys Dakota. But she gets taken down. Joint manipulation by Shayna. Shayna very much in control with Dakota. That was good. I like that. Still underway with this 6-man tag match. Good little match. But I am watching NXT a little more right now. Slap by Dakota. Shayna goes into the corner. Dakota goes in after her. Back elbow. Moves out the way. Rolls through. Looking for a roll up. And Shayna kicks out. Nice. Arm drag by Dakota. Looking for a takedown, though. By Dakota comes over. Looking for a kick to the chest. Goes down face first. Shayna reversing. So Shayna back in control. Luchasaurus has just been tagged in. So he is absolutely unloading on AEW right now. So kicks everywhere. Strikes everywhere. Spinning back kick by Luchasaurus. Got all 4 women outside the ring. And NXT has gone picture in picture. Marko Stunt thrown on top of Tully. Tully goes down. Luchasaurus in control. Double knees to the midsection to Luchasaurus. FTR going over to the corner. FTR working together now on the big man who gets thrown into the corner. Nice kick by. Don't get that. So, double German there. I suppose it shows the power of Luchasaurus, doesn't it? I didn't quite understand why Cash was holding on to Dax, and then they both go over. But I suppose they thought that would stop him from delivering the German, but it didn't. And his power came through. Jungle Boy up. Slammed down by Luchasaurus. 2. Kick out. Masvidal is in the same section as the wrestlers ringside in a pink robe. He is on the same side of the ring where Jurassic Express are standing. Okay. I'll try and keep an eye out for him. If he's wearing a pink robe, then I should imagine he'll easily stand out. We have had some MMA fighters involved before. Of course, we had Demetrius Johnson. We had Henry Cejudo. They came down with Tyson. I can see someone in a red robe. Big splash. Excellent work by FTR on Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy kicks out. Nice German into a bridge. 2. Kick out again by Jungle Boy. Snapdragon. Oh, big splash. Slingshot. Lovely suplex by Tully. Tully's legs give out and he jumps out the ring. Luchasaurus says he wants him to step in. Luchasaurus with Tully. Kick to the head. Tully goes down. So NXT at commercial break. 3 minutes away from halftime. Not a bad match, this. Plants him. 1, 2. Kick out again. There's a lot of kickouts in this match. A lot of kickouts. Jungle Boy going against the ropes. Through the ropes. Who is that? Who is that? Someone getting involved. Some ringside official. Again getting involved as well. Someone with a camera smashing it into the face of Luchasaurus. Boom. Looks like they're putting Luchasaurus away. Obviously, we need to know the identity of that person. So, there we go. Tully Blanchard pins Luchasaurus. FTR and Tully win. But it's all thanks to someone who was on the outside, and I've got no idea as to who that was. JJ Dillon in the ring. Hugging Tully. And there's this person stepping into the ring as well. He's about to reveal who it is. It was Shawn Spears. So it was Shawn Spears. Stretch muffler by Nia Jax on Dakota. Yeah. Arn Anderson coming out because there's a bit of a Four Horsemen vibe going on. Yeah, it's interesting. So what have we got here? We've got Shawn Spears. We've got FTR. Do we need to add one more person and then have new Four Horsemen? So Tony's going to do an interview with these guys. I thought he was going to be interviewing. The FTR have just had to walk past. So Paul White, I think, is coming out now. A piece of cardboard has got more charisma than Shawn Spears, says Mike. Yeah. Paul White making his way out on AEW. No more BS on the screen. He's got a shirt that says no more BS. I like that. No more Big Show. No more Bull. No more BS. What a cheeky little shirt that is. No more BS. Very clever. Very clever. Very clever. No more BS chant. No more BS is the chant. Who saw this turn coming? Man, the shots are being fired hard. Talks about how incredibly happy he is to be here. Seven-time world champion. Makes his announcing debut on March 15th. So, Big Show and Tony. Talking about the new show, Elevation. Still underway with this women's tag match, by the way. Raquel Gonzalez goes down. Kick out to Shayna. I do like that no more BS. That is cheeky. Big Show said he's got the biggest scoop ever. This. Tune in. So there's a major announcement on Sunday. They are signing someone. They said it's not who you think. So everyone would probably be thinking CM Punk. I would imagine everyone's thinking CM Punk. So I think he's saying it's not CM Punk. But who would that be? Who would that be? Scoopy Scoops. Who do you think it is? Who do you think they signed? Who do you think they've signed? Who could it be? Brock? I don't think so. I don't think so. Who could it be? The Rock was rumored. No, it won't be The Rock. It won't be The Rock, and it won't be Brock. I think I would turn it down. He's saying like a future Hall of Fame kind of person. Who could that be? I'm thinking it's going to be someone on the level of Rusev. That's where I'm at, on the level of Rusev. So like, Ryback. Who's out there that they could get? Because it's not going to be anyone that's in WWE right now, is it? Won't be Cena, won't be Rock, won't be Brock. It's not going to be anyone that level. I really, genuinely don't think it's anyone that level. I think we're talking just that next step down. Someone like, you know, Morrison, if Morrison was still free. Who could it be? Who could it be? Marty Scurll? Marty Scurll's in hot water, isn't he? Jay White? No, not leaving New Japan. Randy Orton? No. Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle's not going to be competing, is he? So Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have retained. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have retained. Right, we've got this women's match. Nyla Rose in action. So, Nyla Rose versus... I didn't catch her name. Ryo someone. Winner of this will go on to face Hikaru Shida. Whoever it is, they've got us talking. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to work. Papa Shango! Papa Shango! Yes, it's Papa Shango. So Johnny has been removed from the room. So we've got Indy Hartwell, we've got Candice, we've got Austin. Candice says, Loomis doesn't want friends, he wants victims. Okay, so... Okay. These segments aren't doing it for me. I don't know why. So Johnny was texting Candice. We are underway with this women's match on AEW. So Candice and Johnny have both been kicked out of this room now. So it just leaves Austin and... Well, it leaves just Austin. Oh, I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm watching on AEW. Days, Tony Khan has given Brock Lesnar real Brock Lesnar money. Face it. Well, I will face it if it happens on Sunday, but I'm standing by the fact it's highly unlikely. Who has been released by WWE recently? Wow, there was all those people that were released last year, but Miro was the biggest name that was part of that group. Kurt Angle, I mean, obviously was released, but he was released from like a producing role. So I do think Kurt Angle's a good shout. Kurt Angle could be someone that they try to get their hands on. They seem to be quite excited about it. Definitely teasing and building it up, but they also said it's not who you think. I think that's a way of just turning down the dial. I think they're I think in a roundabout way that's them saying it's not CM Punk. But equally, I don't think it's that level. I really think it's that Miro, Ryback, might have main evented a few shows, someone that's probably been around for a little while, someone that would have gone into a Hall of Fame because of like all the things they've achieved, but not because it's The Rock or not because it's John Cena or someone like that, you know? Daisy said Hall of Fame worthy, so it can't be Kurt Angle or a Hall of Famer. Well, that's true. Kurt, I didn't think about that. Kurt is already in, so yeah, that's a very good point. But I do think that's the right level. Kurt is a big name, no denying that. Multiple time champion, and in the Hall of Fame, but Kurt's not John Cena, and Kurt isn't The Rock, and Kurt isn't Brock. So I do think it's going to be that level below. I do think it's going to be that level. But who? I can't give you a name. Can't give you a name. Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam is a great shout. Rob Van Dam is a really great shout because isn't Rob Van Dam like a free agent? Just silly. This is just silly. There's so much just silliness in this match. Yeah, do the halftime scores as well, by the way. We are past that halfway point. We'll do them now. NXT is at commercial break. I really like Rob Van Dam. I think you might have nailed it because he is one of a kind. One of a kind. Mark Henry. That's interesting. Eric Redbeard. Is he Hall of Fame worthy? He probably would have gone in with the Wyatt family, but he certainly wouldn't have gone in on his own. But yeah, I suppose technically he's Hall of Fame worthy. Eric Redbeard is a good shout. Yeah, I do like Rob Van Dam. Eric Redbeard, Rob Van Dam. I've got both of them written down. Get your thoughts in. NXT 7, NXT 7.5, NXT 7 AEW 5, NXT 7 AEW 6. Mark has been talking a lot about wanting a match in the next 6 months. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to be really loyal. I don't know why. I just, something about Mark Henry leaving doesn't grab me as, like, Eric Redbeard, definitely. Rob Van Dam, definitely. Mark Henry, it could be, but it's not grabbing me like, yeah, definitely it's going to be him, you know? NXT 6, says Scott. Bathstro says NXT 7.5, AEW 6. Brony says NXT 7. Days, it could be Jeff Hardy. He's under contract with WWE. I just rewatched it. He never said male, so it could be Tessa. Oh, that's interesting.
Nick Reader 13 is a legend.
That's interesting.
They donated $6 via a super chat. I just rewatched it. He never said male. Could be Tessa.
Tessa's a good shout because he didn't even say what Hall of Fame. So it could be the Impact Hall of Fame. And considering she won their championship, it could be Tessa. But AEW are working with Impact, and she was released from Impact. So is that going to be a problem for that relationship if they bring in Tessa? Nyla Rose to the outside. Ryo going into the edge of the ring. J14 says NXT 6.5, AEW 7.25. Eva Marie! What Hall of Fame? The Rubbish Hall of Fame. The Rubbish Hall... No way is Eva Marie Hall of Fame worthy. No way. She might go into the Wrestlers Days Hates Hall of Fame. LA Knight making his way out on NXT. Shockmaster. Shockmaster is all elite. Maybe it's Gobbledygooker. Gobbledygooker's probably Hall of Fame worthy. Maybe it's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's not in the Hall of Fame, but I reckon he could go in. I do, honestly. I reckon Vince McMahon is Hall of Fame worthy. So perhaps they've signed Vince. Right, LA Knight is in NXT. He can talk, man. He can talk. Kick out by Nyla. He says, I have waited entirely too long to step into this ring. Let me talk to you. Right, Nyla Rose in control. Vince is all elite. Vanilla Ice, he's bigger than Bad Bunny. Sting will introduce the Shockmaster, says Melvin. Christian Cage. He was at the Rumble, but from what I've heard, he doesn't have a contract. I don't think so, because I've heard that he is going to be doing a few things with WWE. I don't know what his contract is, but the rumors I saw after Royal Rumble was that he will do a little part-time thing. So I'm expecting him and Edge to team up, and don't know, I'm not expecting him to go to AEW now. So I would file that next to Mark Henry as a possible but unlikely. But I would say that's the right level. I would say that's the kind of thing we're looking at here. So it's a good shout all the same. I think now that he's back, is he really going to just sign with AEW? The only way I can see that is if WWE said they don't want to use him. But I haven't heard any rumors of that. But that's you are definitely on the right level.
Nick Reader 13 is a
Nick
legend.
Reader?
They donated $5 and 49 cents via a super chat. What about Dolph? He brother already there.
Under contract. I think anyone that's on WWE right now, forget it. Obviously, someone's contract might expire this week, but I have no idea or knowledge of that. But you'd have to say that's unlikely. I think it's more likely that whoever's being brought in is someone that's not with WWE right now or haven't been with WWE for a while. Because even if Dolph's contract expires this week, I would imagine there'd be something in that contract that says once it expires, there's still a no-compete clause. I would imagine there'd be something that would prevent them from going straight over to a competitor. So there's probably something in the contract that prevents it for like 90 days or something. So big superplex by Nyla Rose. But to my knowledge, I don't know of anyone's contract that's expiring anyway. So no, I can't see anyone that's in WWE right now. I really like Rob Van Dam. I think Rob Van Dam's that's where I'm at. I'm going with Rob Van Dam at the moment. Right, Bronson Reed. Can I just say this match has got a lot better. I thought it was a right mess at the start. There was a lot of showboating. There was a lot of silliness. But we're getting like some hard-hitting stuff here, and it is Ryo that's won. Ryo Mizunami has won. So it's going to be Ryo Mizunami taking on Hikaru Shida.
Corey K is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Shayna submitted a non-legal Dakota with a Raw ref.
What? Shayna submitted a non-legal Dakota with a Raw ref. Well, I don't think the Raw ref's an issue. I think Shayna submitting the non-legal person's a problem. Well done to Ryu, whatever her name was.
William Hensey is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Wade Barrett is my opinion.
Can't see Barrett, 'cause I'm sure he's under contract with NXT. I believe he's been on commentary tonight, but obviously I have to have that turned down, so I can't be 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure. Right, Cameron Grimes has come out. He's just throwing money around. So he's got a new graphics, and I think this is better. I think this is much better for him. I find him quite entertaining now, you know, Cameron Grimes. He's trying to buy Bronson Reed. Kick by Cameron. Another kick coming in as well. So lots of $1 Million Man references, of course. NWO is All Elite. Edward Brown, yes, of course. Dakota wasn't legal yet. She passed out for the win. Pierce also brought out a Raw official. Esteban, did he ever say Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame? Maybe it's someone along the lines of Shaq. I don't know. He said Hall of Fame worthy, so it could be any Hall of Fame, couldn't it? I suppose Shaq has done things, but I think people, that would leave a sour taste. If it's not a wrestler, I think it would leave a sour taste. So I don't think they'll do that or go that way. But it could be a female, could be a male. George says, do you think that Sting will team with Big Show? They could do that. I am totally expecting Big Show to have some matches. So, yeah, I think putting them together could be a lot of fun. Nia looked thick tonight. Loved it, says Mike. If I was AEW, I would hire Enzo and Cass. They would be game changers, in my honest opinion, says JP. Jerry Jacks says Kenny from South Park is All Elite. He's tired of getting jobbed out by Comedy Central. Austin thinks it could be Alicia Fox. She is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Do you know what? Joking aside, she probably is. And I know that might upset people. But the Hall of Fame, I think, is a way of recognizing not just achievements, but commitment to WWE as well. And she had quite a long career. And she did, you know, a lot of stuff that was asked of her. She was involved in Total Divas and the early success of that show. So she, you know, she was a good hand for quite a long time. She was in multiple different storylines, and it's not always about the amount of belts that you win. It can be about, you know, what you actually do for the company. So she's a tough one. There'd be a lot of people that would say that she's not Hall of Fame worthy, but all joking aside, I mean, like, how long was she with WWE? I've got a feeling that she was like 8 years or something like this. Like, it's quite a considerable amount of time. So, I don't know. That's a debatable one. My thoughts always come back to the fact that Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame, you know? So, it's definitely debatable. But I don't think AEW would refer to her as Hall of Fame, a future Hall of Famer. So I don't think it will be her. But that would be an interesting one if she ever did get announced. Because I would imagine there'd be quite the backlash to it. But I don't know. I think she achieved a bit more than what people maybe remember. Right, we got Sting on AEW. He says he wants to thank Brian Cage because when he was powerbombed through the ring, he now knows he's ready. Tommy Dreamer or Sabu? Nicole, this is Hall of Fame worthy. Right, here is Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks said, don't worry, I'm out here of my own accord. Ricky Stark says, you showed us something we hadn't seen in quite a while, and that was fire from Sting. You still got it. Yeah, what is Ricky Starks trying to do? He says to Sting, you've still got it. But he says, I still stand by what I said. You are no icon. And he slaps Sting. Sting fires back. Sting has got Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks' shoes go flying off. Starks into the corner. Clothesline. Starks goes down. Starks going into the corner again. Sting a splash. We're still underway with Cameron Grimes and Bronson Reed. The Scorpion Deathlock applied. Sting with a Scorpion Deathlock. Is that Will Hobbs? Hook with a headlock on Sting. Brian Cage has come down. Taz has come down. So it's turned into a beatdown now of Sting. Here's Darby Allin. Clothesline by Bronson Reed, and Cameron Grimes goes down. I can confirm as without is there. AEW Twitter has posted a picture of him and Moxley. Yeah, apparently he's in a pink robe, and I did see someone in a pink robe, but haven't made any mention of him. So seems like he's there as a guest. Either that, or he's going to get involved later in like some big surprise moment. I don't know. So, yeah, that's interesting that Masvidal's at ringside. Bronson Reed with a suicide dive through the ropes. We've got half an hour to go. Half an hour to go. I think these shows have been all right. I think there's been some good stuff. I think there's been some silliness. I think they've been all right. Looking forward to next week on NXT, where we're going to have the Women's Championship defended and the NXT Championship as well. LA Knight has come down. LA Knight's getting involved. So LA Knight got involved for some reason. Cameron Grimes in the corner. There we go. He's double stomp. Bronson Reed goes down. 2, 3. Cameron Grimes wins. Cameron Grimes victorious over Bronson Reed. Thanks to LA Knight. So there could be a little partnership there, which could be interesting. LA Knight has turned on Reed. Mark says AEW has been way better tonight. Gronkowski is all elite, says Adam. So we've got Cameron Grimes outside the ring. Big smile on his face. Victorious over Bronson Reed. We've got Adam Pearce and William Regal arguing in NXT office. Are they going to run that match back on Raw, do you think? Be nice for NXT. Be good for Dakota and Raquel. So, Kacy Catanzaro has partially torn her ACL. Caden says, I can't tell you when Kacy will be back. So, Caden wants Xia Li. No fear, no hesitation. Next week, man. Next week's card stacked. Next week. So next week we've got a WWE NXT Championship match, NXT Women's Championship match, and we're going to have Kaden versus Xia Li. They proper built her up, man. They've really invested in her. Nice little video package on Xia Li right now. Over on AEW, we've got Dark Order's 10. -1 as well. Coming down to the ring with 10. Who's he facing? Dark Order 10 versus Max Caster. So there we go. We've got 10 and -1. And Max Caster is out of the team, The Acclaimed. So he's coming down. So we're just going to get a little match here just before our main event. I'm guessing our main event's going to be Hardy and Mark Quinn versus Hangman and John Silver. It's a huge start. We'll put AEW over the top. Dwayne the Boulder Johnson is going to be all elite. Next week's NXT looks huge. It does, but Spark. It does look huge. So really looking forward to next week's NXT. Surprised no one has mentioned Chris Hero. It's a good shout, Broken Dreams. It's a good shout. What Hall of Fame would he go into, though? Like the Observer Hall of Fame or something? The Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame? He wouldn't go into the WWE one. But he is a great talent. Undertaker is not going to AEW. Has anyone legit said Undertaker? Oh, amazing. Max Caster is 1,000,000 times more talented than Bad Bunny, says Jerry Jacks. Days, I told you it's going to be Zelina Vega. She's not Hall of Fame worthy, bud. She hasn't got the achievements nor the longevity. So I don't know what Hall of Fame she would go into. Days, do you think it could be Christian or Carlito? I think... No, I don't, is the answer. I think Christian's with WWE, and I think he'll do some stuff with them. Carlito... Don't know. Debatable as to whether he's Hall of Fame worthy, to be honest. Debatable. I'd have to look at his achievements and his longevity, and you know, is he someone that will go into the WWE Hall of Fame eventually? He was around for a while. He made his debut in '99, and he left WWE 2010. So he did 10 years. That's good. That's significant in all fairness. But of those 10 years, he was down in OVW to 04. So that's only 6 years on the main roster. So 6 years on the main roster. That I wouldn't say that was enough. 2-time tag champ, 1-time IC champ, 1-time US. I don't think there's enough there. I want to have a look at Alicia Fox because I do think that's a really interesting one. So I could be 1,000,000 miles off, but I feel like she was around for a while. She was in OVW till 07, and then she finally left in 2021. So she was amazingly... She debuted 08. She debuted in 08, and then she left in 2020 or 2019. Either way, she did about 10 years. She did about 10 years. One-time Divas champion, one-time 24/7 champion. She hasn't got the achievements, but she was in 5 series, 6 series, and appeared in 7 series of Total Divas. She's appeared in Total Bellas. She was in the Jetsons film. I don't know, you know. I find that really difficult. She's been around for about 10 years. Would she go into the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I genuinely don't know on that one. I genuinely don't know. She was around at a time before like women's wrestling was seen all that much, so she wasn't used all that much. But is that her fault? I don't know. The truth is, Austin, he couldn't wait to get rid of you. Dexter says you was the most obnoxious person that he's ever been around. Okay, so she's laying into Austin. Austin has started to cry and run away. Okay, Austin has burst into tears. This is like being the elite stuff. Austin Theory is crying his eyes out. Oh, well, there we go. So, Ever Rise have made their way out. Dave, do you think it could be Alberto Del Rio? No. Hopefully it's Billy Kay. Okay, Ever Rise don't know who they're facing. What about Roman's brother from MLW? It's not Hall of Fame worthy, is he? Ah, it's Breezango. Breezango versus Ever Rise. Oh. No, no, no. They're getting beaten up. Breezango were doing their entrance and they're getting attacked right now by Legado del Fantasma. Oh, this match ain't going down, is it? This match ain't happening. Ever Rise is so cool. Do you think it could be AJ Lee? Well, she is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. There's no debate in that. Definitely Hall of Fame worthy. And, oh, I'd love it if it was. I'd love it if it was. I don't think it is. I don't think she's interested in competing anymore. I don't think she misses wrestling. She might miss the fans, but she's moved on to writing books and talking about mental health and things like that. I don't think she's desperate to get back into the ring. There is Santos Escobar. Escobar taking out Ever Rise. So we're still underway with, we've only got 20 minutes left now, so we should be done with this match on AEW in a second. Quite a few talking points coming out of tonight. The biggest being, who is joining AEW this Sunday? We are going to get a big reveal this Sunday. Mean Street Posse are all elite. Right, wow, we've got Legado del Fantasma. Don't mistake last week for weakness, says Santos. It could be Glenn Jacobs. There we go. Breezango are down. Everrise are down. And Legado del Fantasma just sending a message. So Xia Li against Caden Carter next week. That's going to be good. That'll be fun. Also next week, Io Shirai against Tony Storm. What if the Hall of Fame worthy thing doesn't have to do with wrestling? Well, I mean, yeah. It could be that it's Hall of Fame, but not Wrestling Hall of Fame. Perhaps they've signed one of the greatest Tiddlywinks champions ever. I don't know. It's cheeky, isn't it? It's like, it's a bit clickbaity. I don't know if that's a good thing to do, to be honest. We're just seeing Finn Balor and what he has achieved in the past. I mean, it is true, isn't it? This does feel like a different Finn Balor. White said this person gets the scoops. Conor McGregor is Hall of Fame worthy. Yes. Perhaps they've signed Overeem. Imagine if they got Alistair Overeem. Wow. It won't be, but Overeem's UFC Hall of Fame worthy. Thunder Rosa and Riho are going to be teaming together. We've got a little promo from Miro. Come Sunday. Those that have been waiting for Miro to stop playing games will finally get their wish. I don't like the game over thing. I really don't like the game over thing. So AEW are just going through what we can expect to see at Revolution this Sunday. Of course, we will be doing a next. They're saying makes an announcement regarding AEW's next major signing. Next major signing will be revealed this Sunday. Who is their next major signing? Young Bucks taking on Jericho and MJF. Should be good. Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley. One thing I'm going to say about the exploding barbed wire deathmatch thing, right, is it sounds stupid, but if it is that instead of ropes, it's barbed wire, And that's it, right? So basically, you are in the ring. You've got to face each other, and if you go over to the ropes, it's like barbed wire and it sparks and everything, like electrified barbed wire or something. I can get with that. I can get with that. My problem with hardcore matches is it's like, right, now we're going to do the broken glass, right? Now we're going to do this barbed wire bat, right? Now we're going to do the thumbtacks. Now we're going to do... It's just like spot after spot after spot after spot. Whereas if this is like just one thing, but it's done well and it's used well, it could actually be a really good match. So I'm really intrigued. I think we're all intrigued by the exploding barbed wire death match. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got John Silver making his way down right now. So this is our main event. They've not got long. We are quickly running out of time. There's not an overrun when it comes to AEW. So Hangman and John Silver taking on Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. I don't know what our main event for NXT is. And I've totally put that on the wrong side. Switch these over. Days, could AEW sign Foley? They could. They could. Oh, look. NXT UK were building to Kaylee Ray versus Miko Satomura. Is that match tomorrow? Flip. Definitely want to see that. Okay, here we go. William Regal is going to make an announcement next week that will change the landscape of NXT. What is that? What's that going to be? He's going to make an announcement that will change the landscape of NXT. Hang on, what's this? Is this going to be Balor versus Roderick Strong? We've got Balor Adam Cole next week, but I didn't realise Balor was in action. Big announcement. What's going on? All these announcements? Got announcements everywhere. Right, Finn Balor's making his way down to the ring. Maybe it's going to be NXT versus Raw talent event coming up. Do you think it could be Eve Torres? I don't want to be disrespectful, but is that a major signing in 2021? I don't feel like it is. I don't feel like Carlito would be. And I certainly don't think Alicia Fox would be. So I don't think it's any of those. I think those might be a bit too small. There's kind of a sweet spot that I think we're operating in, which is not Cena, Rock, and Brock. But I don't think it's Carlito, Eve Torres. I think it's a sweet spot where Rob Van Dam operates and Christian operates and Tessa Blanchard operate. And it's kind of that area where it is a major sign-in, but it's not Cena. So, yeah, it's
Sandman
difficult.
882 is a legend.
Sandman.
They donated $2 via a super chat. NXT is going to be huge next week.
It really is. It absolutely is. It is going to be monstrous next week. In fairness, AEW is going to be monstrous on Sunday. So AEW is going to be absolutely huge on Sunday. And NXT looks like it's going to be absolutely huge next week. NXT women's tag titles. Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. I like the belts going to the different brands. As I said, I'd much rather Roderick Strong, by the way, is coming down with no Undisputed Era graphics, grey top that says Roderick Strong. Different music. Look at this, Roderick Strong. New theme, no more Undisputed Era. No. Yeah, I can hear Wade Barrett, by the way. So, Roderick Strong in grey. He's got white and purple down the side. It just says Strong on the back. It's no black or yellow or any sign of Undisputed Era stuff. What a great match this should be. Roderick Strong versus Finn Balor. What a real treat. Beth Phoenix says she feels like she's watching an Olympic-level competition. It's not NXT Women's Tag Title because they said it's changing the landscape of NXT. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I wonder, but it's got to be connected, hasn't it? It's got to be connected somehow. I can't figure it out. How is this women's tag title match in any way connected to the landscape of NXT? One shoulder up though by Balor. I gotta say, I think NXT's main event is a bit more exciting, should I say? I think it's exciting to see Roderick Strong breaking out on his own. But I do still like this match. I do like Hangman and John Silver working together. I think John Silver's such a talent. And obviously, Hangman could go on to be like the face of AEW. Hangman's a little bit similar to like Seth Rollins. He's not the biggest guy, but he can really go in the ring. And yeah, he could be their Seth Rollins. Balor in control against Roderick Strong. Bit of joint manipulation. Matt Hardy doing a bit of posturing. Took a little bit too long. Got kicked in the midsection by John Silver. Regal is just hyping up the move to Tuesdays. I mean, that would change the landscape of NXT if he announces that they're moving. But how does that connect to the women's tag titles? It's kind of like Dakota Kai was cheated out of the women's tag titles, so as a result, we're moving to Tuesdays. I can't get the two to connect. Maybe they're going to announce that NXT talent are going to be able to wrestle on main event pay-per-views. That would be cool. That would be cool. But apparently the rumors are that there is no NXT or women's NXT title matches scheduled for Mania. That's a big bit of news that was doing the rounds yesterday. Creed says the AEW mystery person could be JTG. I don't think that can be classed as a next major sign-in, to be honest. Do you think it's one of the Bellas? If it was the Bellas, no, because they're going into the Hall of Fame. So, no. They're due to go into the Hall of Fame, and I don't think they would sign with AEW. I think WWE look after the Bellas quite well. So I'm going to say not the Bellas. Honestly, I really think Rob Van Dam is where I'm at. I think RVD was a great shout. RVD. Eric Redbeard, maybe, because he could be classed as Hall of Fame worthy with the Wyatt family. So I'm still feeling pretty good about Rob Van Dam. WWE main event runs pay-per-views. I don't understand. Tessa could be the final entrant in an AEW ladder match. Goldberg is going to be All Elite, says Joe. Gerald says it's going to be Kane. Few shouts for Goldberg. Well, Goldberg, if he is done with WWE and he is free now, could be an option. Nice counter by Mark Quinn. We're into the final few minutes. Maybe Regal has signed Nia and Shayna to NXT, says Dominic. Yeah, and then maybe they keep the tag titles. I mean, that would change the landscape of the women's division in NXT, wouldn't it? 'Cause they'd have those belts to compete for all the time. Plus, 2 big names will have returned. I just don't know, though. Just don't know. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like what's going to be announced. Spear by John Silver. Silver unloading on Matt Hardy. Laying in lots of big strikes. Hardy, though, kicking back. NXT is just returning as well from its commercial break. Silver. Oh. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Matt Hardy. Good brainbuster. No loss if Regal does that, says Lister Jericho. Goldberg in AEW. All he'll do is bury talent, and he can't have a match longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be the greatest signing for AEW. Like, they surely know. They're very switched on. They see what the fans are saying. They surely know that Goldberg's not, like, this massive popular superstar. But saying that, WWE keep using him. There must be some numbers somewhere that someone is seeing that suggests that Goldberg continues to move a dial somewhere. Maybe it's in, like, I don't know, the Indian market or something. Perhaps they, like, really respect him over in India. I have no idea. Nice powerbomb by Hangman. Silver with a nice suplex. Buckshot lariat. Buckshot lariat connects. Hangman plants Mark Quinn. Pins him. Gets the win. Stares at Matt Hardy as Matt Hardy walks away. Matt Hardy from behind attacking Hangman. Matt Hardy is smashing Adam Page with the microphone. Dark Order on the way. So, Dark Order are attacking. Wow, there's just big melee. We've got, I think, literally, if you've got an AEW contract, I think you're coming down to the ring right now. There's got to be about 30 guys in that ring. And in the middle of it, you've got Hangman and Matt Hardy. Death Triangle coming down. I mean, it's quite... I'll give them this. It's quite the spectacle. And there we go. That is the end of AEW for this week. Right, we won't do scores for it yet because we are still underway with NXT. NXT has gone back to having its overrun. Nice Arm drag by Balor. He's keeping Roderick Strong grounded. He's got a submission hold applied to Roderick Strong. Strong trying to get out of it. He's managed to get his foot on the rope here, Roderick Strong. Hard to know who's going to win this. I mean, I feel like it's going to be Balor. Because obviously he's got a big championship match next week. But Roderick Strong, if he's out on his own now, really does need a little bit of momentum. Really does need, like, to not get destroyed here. Like, he could really do with getting the win. Big chop by Balor. I suppose falling just short against Balor. There's no shame in that. Another big chop by Balor. Going right after Roderick Strong, who slumps down in the corner. And again, hurling Roderick Strong across the ring. But he comes out, clothesline. Balor goes down. Strong up on his feet. Forearm strike. Big slap back. Another forearm strike. Another big chop. Looking for a backbreaker. No. Slams Balor down face first. So Roderick Strong starting to come back into this. Shane McMahon is going to be all elite. King says, I feel people are missing the idea of the huge announcement. Regal said the announcement will change the landscape of NXT. I don't think just the women's division. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, they do like to build these things up. So, you know, if they've got the women's tag titles permanently on NXT, then I could see him saying that's changed the landscape. Because it's titles for the female division to compete for. Because there is no mid-card championship for the women. So, you know, now all of a sudden you've got these tag titles. If they are going to be there, it will change the landscape for the women. But you could be right. I mean, maybe this announcement's going to change more than that. It's going to change everything. But and that would certainly be moving to Tuesdays. But how does that connect to what happened to Dakota? I don't understand. It's quite the mystery. We're going to have to get Scooby-Doo on it. Lovely stretch here. And he's got a knee across the back as well. Balor trying to get over to the ropes, but he's dragged into the middle. Balor spins around. Lovely pin. Look at that. Oh, Balor just kicks out. Good match, this. Really good match. Oh, Balor kind of double stomps as Roderick Strong got his knees up. They sort of both collided into each other. Yeah, man. This is the best match of the night. Forearm strike by Balor. Kick to the midsection by Roderick Strong. Pele kick by Balor. Oh, plants Roderick down. Balor charging over. Drop kick. Roderick Strong goes into the corner. Balor going up top. Coup de grace. Coup de grace by Balor. Balor, 1916. That should put Roderick Strong away. 1, 2, 3, and Balor wins. That was a really good match. That was a really good match. Coup de grace. Rob Van Dam has got a documentary coming up on the WWE Network, so he must still be signed with WWE. The plot thickens. Well, hang on. They own all that footage. So they can make that documentary and not need him under contract. I mean, they can make a documentary about anyone that they own footage for, because they can use the footage. They can talk if they. There's no reason why he would have to be under contract. The only thing is, they surely wouldn't want to do it whilst he's with another promotion. But they've clearly worked on that documentary before he has signed with AEW, if he's signed with AEW. So, I don't know, it's interesting. It's definitely a talking point, but I don't know if that's enough for me to say that it's not going to be Rob Van Dam. And there's Adam Cole Bay. And Adam Cole Bay is still wearing an Undisputed Era hoodie. He's trying to cling on to the past. Next week, Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. Next week, Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. Next week, Xia Li taking on Caden Carter. Next week, a huge announcement that's going to change the landscape of NXT. Huge week next week. Huge Sunday on Sunday. Adam Cole, baby! Jim says, considering Dakota and Raquel were robbed of the Women's Tag Championships by Adam Pearce, the only announcement that makes sense from Regal is the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Yeah, it's got to somehow be connected with that. Unless they announce a pay-per-view where it's going to be NXT versus the main roster, and one of the matches will be Dakota and Raquel taking on Nia and Shayna. Does that change the landscape? Maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Don't know. Hard to know what he's going to say. But I think you're right. I think it could be that the NXT women's tag titles, that kind of feels like the most likely thing at the moment. I give both shows a 7, says Hayden. Get your scores in. Get your scores in. What did you think of the shows? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Did they meet your standard? Did they fall just below your standard? What did you think of the shows whilst you're getting your scores in? I'm going to tell you that I thought the best match tonight was Roderick Strong against Finn Balor. I also thought the FTR against Jurassic Express was pretty fun. I don't think there was anything disastrous with that first match from Cody and Red Velvet. It's a match that I was really intrigued by. Parts of it I would book different, but perfectly fine. To be honest, perfectly fine. So I thought AEW opened big. I'm really bored of all these beatdowns. It's like all the time there's beatdowns. People coming down all the time. People getting involved. Mass brawls. It's just every week, every match, all the time, on repeat. I'd love to just strip it back to just wrestling. Imagine like we have a show where people face each other. There's no cheating. There's no outside interference. There's no mass brawl after. It's just wrestling. Just people having matches, winning matches or losing matches, and that's it. So there's a few little things that I would definitely tweak with this show, but wasn't a bad show. And definitely has whetted the appetite for this weekend. So that was AEW. And obviously, Big Show teasing that big announcement that's got everyone talking. So that was AEW. NXT, the therapy things didn't work for me. There was parts of it I, had a little smile at, whatever, but missed the mark. I was hoping for better, to be honest, from those therapy sessions. But as I said, Finn Balor, Roderick Strong, I thought was very, very good. And, there was a few good matches, a few good moments. I like Cameron Grimes. Thought his match with Bronson Reed was all right. The women's tag title match I thought was very good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid as well. So I kind of agree with Hayden. Hayden said both shows being about a 7. I sort of agree. I kind of feel like both shows were like, there wasn't really much spectacular. There are talking points. Definitely talking points. But there wasn't really anything OMG. And nothing really like that spectacular. Just solid, really. Just really solid. So, Big Show's announcement might be his own signing, says Biased Radio. Steve says NXT was better than AEW this week. But Jay thinks that NXT was 725 and AEW was 775. AEW 775, it was great for a go-home show. Liam said, I just thought, Days, could AEW sign Ronda? What do you think? NXT announcement could be Paige as women's general manager. Wow, I do like that. I do like Paige as a women's general manager. Do we need that, though? Do we need a women's general manager? I mean, I feel like if William Regal was to, for whatever reason, need to step down, I feel like Paige would be a fantastic GM. A fantastic GM. So, yeah, that would be interesting. Hey, what if AEW have signed Paige? I don't think they said that this person was going to wrestle, did they? Don't think they said this person was going to wrestle. They could have signed Paige. What if they've signed Paige? What if they've signed Renee Young? She's pregnant. She's pregnant. Is she Hall of Fame worthy? Is she Hall of Fame worthy? That's tough, isn't it? I mean, announcers do go into the Hall of Fame. Howard Finkel and Mean Gene. So would Renee Young be Hall of Fame worthy? Because I don't think he said that they had to wrestle. It's just next major signing. Renee Young's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. Paige to AEW doing some commentary work. Female because they probably do need a female commentator. Don't they? They need a female commentator. They haven't got one. They haven't got one on any of the shows, actually, thinking about it. I don't think Dark has got one. Doesn't it tend to be Excalibur and Taz? And obviously there's no female voice on AEW, and got to have diversity. So, a female commentator. Paige, Renee Young, Zelina Vega, but she's not Hall of Fame worthy. I would say Paige probably is. First ever NXT Women's Champion. Got called up and then won the Divas Championship when she got called up. Obviously, they made a film about her life, fighting with my family. She was involved in Total Divas. She wasn't around very long, but she definitely had a big impact. Certainly when you look at the women's division, she had a big impact. And then she obviously did the GM work as well. So I feel like Paige is definitely... If Paige got announced to the Hall of Fame, I'd be like, that's cool. Yeah, I get it. First ever NXT champ. Can only ever be one first. So I would understand it. I would also agree she's not like concrete. I would also agree there's, if you're going to rank people in order of, do they deserve it? I don't know how high up that list she would be, but first ever NXT Women's Champion. And really, you could say that it was that match, Paige and Emma, that really started the women's evolution and revolution, because it was the fact that NXT had a women's division that gave us Sasha, Charlotte, and all of that. So the women's division and the women's championship and NXT and Paige being the first champion of that, she kind of signifies a lot. So it's interesting. We'll have to see. NXT 8.25, NXT 7.10. People getting their scores in. I'm going to say AEW. Was it slightly behind NXT tonight? I don't know, because even though that opening match was like a 7 out of 10 for me, it's still something that I wanted to watch. They still gave me the match, even if it's not the greatest match in the world. They still gave me the match, and I thought Jade Cargill actually looked very good. So, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? I think this could be a bit of a draw. This could be a bit of a draw. We'll go. Do you know what? I'm going to agree with Hayden. I'll say 7 for both. I could go 7-2-5. But I'll go 7 for both. I think this was a bit of a go home for AEW, but still had some good stuff on it. And honestly, I think NXT are building for next week. So I think AEW are building for Sunday, and I think NXT are building for next week. And as a result, both of these shows were solid, but maybe a little unspectacular. But both made big announcements that they're going to make big announcements. Big Show says he's got an announcement on Sunday. William Regal has got an announcement next Wednesday. Days, what if Cole joins with AJ and Omos? That would be pretty sweet. Days, Kurt Angle is a free agent. Kurt Angle is a good shout. Joe says NXT 3 wrestling is dead. Hayden says, yes, I knew it. Next week's NXT is action-packed, says Archie. Eric Rowan for AEW, says Brendan. Bias Radio said, I tried. What did you try? Brian Alvarez, sorry to report the death of Jim Crockett Jr. Oh, well, I had heard that he wasn't well, so absolutely thoughts with Jim Crockett Jr. Yeah, it had been reported he wasn't well, so obviously I've not seen that confirmed, but really sad news. No, I saw it. As soon as I saw you say that you tried to get the to get me to see it, I had a little look up and I saw your previous comment. So, Blessed Radio. Shout out to you. Thank you for that information. With Paul White doing the announcement, I feel it will be a commentator, says Liam. It's interesting, isn't it? If it's going to be a commentator, then I think a woman would make the most sense because they do need a female voice on at least one of these shows. If you was AEW, would you allow David Benoit to use his last name? Yep. Yes, I would. I wouldn't want him wearing the same attire as his dad. And I wouldn't want him using the same moves and all that kind of stuff. I would want some distance between him and his father. I would understand that he would want to do, like pay homage to his dad, and it's still his dad. I mean, it's a bad situation. It's a difficult situation, but David Benoit, that's his name. That's his name. And that's his family. And that tragedy is a part of his life. So I wouldn't change his name. I would be fine with keeping it as it is. I'd probably talk to him and say, I'd be interested in bringing him in and changing his name. But, because I would change his name, but I know he doesn't want to. There was an interview, I think he did it with Chris Van Vliet, where he's like, he wants to keep his name. He wants to wear the same attire as his dad. He wants to do the same moves as his dad. He still loves his dad, all this kind of stuff. So I would try and change his name, but I know he doesn't want to. I know he's not interested in changing his name. I know that he wants to keep the Benoit name, so I would keep it. If he wants to keep it, I would keep it, 'cause it is his name. That's his name. Do you know what I mean? That's his name. But there's no reason for him to wear the same ring attire, and there's no reason for him to have the same moveset, and I would try and put some distance between him and his dad. Because it was a tragedy. It was an absolute tragedy, and you don't want to constantly remind people of that tragedy, to be honest. The Benoit name will in a way do that, of course, but that is his name. That is his name. So, Days, how about Jerry Lawler? He said he was letting his contract run out. That'd be interesting if they get the King. Yeah, that'd be very interesting. I heard that David Benoit wants to wrestle under Chris Benoit Jr. No, he's not doing that. He's not doing that. He can wrestle. I wouldn't stop him wrestling under his name because that's his name. So ideally I would want to change it because I think Benoit name brings up a lot of, obviously bad memories. It brings up that tragedy. It brings up a lot of hurt, and it's a distraction, to be perfectly honest. So I would want to change it, but I know he doesn't want to. So that's what I'm saying. Fine, keep it. But no, you're not being called Chris Benoit Jr. You're not dressing like him, and you're not doing all this because I as a booker, I'd have no interest in basically presenting a Chris Benoit tribute performer, because that's seemingly what he wants to do. He wants to pay tribute to his dad, and I'd have no interest in booking that. So if you want to wrestle for my company, that's fine. That's absolutely fine, but you'll do it under your real name. I can appreciate that. But no, you're not Chris Benoit Jr. You're not doing his moveset. You're not wearing his ring attire. And if we're not on the same page with that, then there's no way forward. So that would be the conversation I would have with him. Jerry just re-signed, says Phil. Maybe Jesse Ventura could join AEW as color commentator. Well, these are great names, and it's very interesting that we've kind of switched over to thinking about it from a commentary point of view now. I do stand by, though, that if I'm AEW, I am looking at dude. Where's the dudettes? Like, we need to get a lady in here. So, I'm kind of leaning towards it being a woman. I can't figure out what woman that would be. And I don't think they would present Renee Young right now while she's pregnant, because she's going to be off for a long time. So don't see it being Renee Young. Paige is interesting. Zelina Vega, there's no way you could say she's a Hall of Famer. So I don't think it's going to be Zelina Vega. I'm trying to think who else it might be. What other women are out there? Could it be like a big name from the past? I know someone mentioned AJ Lee earlier, but I don't think she's interested in wrestling. Don't think it'll be the Bellas. I think they've got a great relationship with WWE. I'm really trying to think as to what women it could be. Michelle McCool, I think, is in a great place with WWE. I mean, I just don't think Undertaker would let someone like Michelle McCool go. And plus, I don't think she's interested. So, it's really tough. I like Rob Van Dam. I like Eric Rowan. I like Paige, believe it or not. I like Paige as an option because I don't know where she is with her contract. So if her contract's expired, seemingly WWE have got nothing for her. She could do tons. She could do commentary. She could do GM work. She could be a manager. There's lots that she could be a backstage interviewer. She could be a host. There's loads of stuff that Paige could do. So I think she'd be a great addition. And is she a future Hall of Famer? I can see it. So, yeah, I think Paige would be a good pickup. Do you think it's Jimmy Uso? I do not think it's Jimmy Uso. Days, are you the guy Big Show is talking about? You're definitely a future Hall of Famer. Hasib, shout out to you. Burstbark says maybe it's Mae Young's birthed hand. The Bellas are looking to go after the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Right. What do you think has more chance of being the announcement? NXT moving to Tuesday or NXT Evolve? Well, to be honest, I don't see how either are connected to what happened tonight. So I think NXT Evolve is... I think they both stand a chance, to be honest, of being the announcement, but because they both changed the landscape, but I don't see how either are connected to what happened in that women's tag title match. So I've got to say that both are likely announcements, but I don't know that either are going to be what he's going to announce. So let's put it that way. Do you think Drew will win the title back? I do, and I think that'll go down at WrestleMania. Overeem is all elite. Overeem would be sick, man. Overeem would be sick. That would be awesome. So, anyway, we are done. We only normally stick around for about 15 minutes. We've done a little bit longer than that. Obviously, a lot of excitement around what these announcements could be. I kind of felt like tonight there wasn't really a great deal to have fun with. We do say that on a Wednesday, though. We tend to have a lot of fun on a Monday and a Friday, and a Wednesday tends to be a little more wrestling focused. Certainly with NXT, you get a bit more humor over on AEW. But this felt like a go home, a good go home, in all fairness. I mean, credit to AEW. Go homes are normally absolutely epic disasters. And that certainly wasn't what we got from AEW tonight. So fair play to them. Yeah, go home for them. So obviously Sunday is going to be huge. But it looks like NXT is setting up for next week. So it looks like next Wednesday is going to be huge as well. So thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Really do appreciate the support. Have a great evening wherever you are. Of course, we are going to be back tomorrow for the UFC 259 press conference. We're back on Friday for SmackDown, Saturday for UFC 259, Sunday for AEW Revolution, Monday for Raw. So we've got a lot on the way. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.